Oh my god, we're live!
All right. Welcome, folks, to our new D&D campaign. Real quick, around the table, my name is Gabriel. I will be our dungeon master for this story and beyond. And if we want to introduce ourselves, Bill, want to start with you?
Yes. Hi, I'm Bill, and I'm a world builder or world crafter for Astral, and looking forward to this game.
Awesome. Derek.
What's up, guys? My name's Derek. I'm a teacher, and I run a 3D printing company out of my basement called Board Game Boss, and excited to play.
Jacob.
I am Jacob Ebel here. I am an engineer by trade out of necessity and avid gamer and DM at every possible chance and opportunity.
Patrick.
My name is Patrick. I'm a cartographer and a writer. I'm super excited to play.
Last but certainly not least.
I'm Sean. I'm a therapist, and D&D is my coping skill.
super valid.
Fishing.
So for the very first session of this new campaign, I'm going to read a little bit of a primer for us all before we jump in. Welcome everyone for joining us, and here we go. Sitting in the golden belt of its single star, Thrayne has orbited quietly with its moons from beyond recorded history. Magic, a long-told children's fairy tale, has faded from mortal minds into the quiet myth of legend and shadow. Dragons, leviathans, and other such mythical creatures are out there. They exist as reminders of the time before, though quiet and isolated in their domains. There are few living practitioners of such arts, and most are disbelieved as rumor and myth. Once a world of high magics and lost arts, a place where cities flew in the heavens, the gods meddled with mortal affairs from all realities, and the might of men held down destructive beasts of legends and harvested their bodies for materials. In Thrayne, dragons held court, and demigods roamed the land. The Age of Dawn, however, was not meant to last. Details, shrouded in lore, are circumspect, contradictory at best. What is known for certain is the Great Starfall ended the age in destruction and pain. Celestial bodies fell from the heavens and reshaped the lands by some cosmic plan or by chance of fate. Thrayne was pummeled by the might of the stars for near a decade. At its end, shattered and struggling, the peoples of the world set out from their shelters and surviving cities, repopulating newly shaped lands and slowly rebuilding. The age of rebirth had begun. Thus was the state of the world for 1,700 years of recorded history, but nothing is meant to last forever. For one night in the full moon cycle of Nias, the third of Thrayne's moons, a blue pale light shone from the heavens as they spoke again. A storm of smaller celestial bodies fell into the atmosphere, burning away save for a few small pieces that have impacted the surface across the planet. One such piece struck the rising nation of Losthren, leveling it and leaving a crater in its wake. Mortal kind was not the only thing affected by the second starfall, as the mysterious powers of magic seemed to have slowly begun returning. This event, now 12 years past, is a source of speculation and rumor, but scholars have agreed on two things for certain. Mortal kind was ludicrously lucky for having escaped relatively unscathed. And with the rumors of unexplainable events becoming too numerous to count, power, magic, had returned, slowly and surely seeping back into the fabric of reality. Many seek such power, yet few can be certain to have seen it or experienced it. In the years to come, many fear we may see more lost might returned to the world of Thrayne. The age of renewal is upon you. Do.
Yeah.
All right.
Terminator? That's what we're going with?
A portal opens. No.
I'm in danger.
Why am I naked?
in a field in the middle of a medieval town? What? So, picking up where we last left our characters from their introductory session. Slowly traveling down a road, heading north to south with their companion mystic. Jubei, Mistlethar, and Reese have journeyed for about a week since they last left the Lemon Farm crossing. Slowly reaching towards the place, they know the road cuts into the woods. These woods surrounding a town built up against the bluffs. This town, called Schema, is the home to a great festival that happens every year. And that festival is a week or less off at this point. As the moons are in their cycle and the world moves about its day, spring is coming. What has your little troop been up to for the last week as you have journeyed southward along this road?
I think my 20 questions have all been asked. It is no longer my turn, yes?
Well, okay. Let's ask you a more serious one. Are you really a knight?
Do you have the audacity to question me? Look at this. Look at this brooch. Do you see this brooch? This is fancier than anything you have owned in your entire life. You know it to be true.
Reese is suddenly very hurt and crestfallen. Well, fuck. All right then. Brack.
I didn't mean that to be rude. I'm sorry. I thought that you were asking silly questions.
No,
so
it's
I gave
okay.
you a silly answer.
I will deal with my small loot, and that's it.
Mist will pull out a small puzzle cube, and start just flicking at it as he fidgets after being awkward.
And as they banter back and forth, what is Jubei up to?
At this point, been ignoring them and checking the edges of the forest for any low-hanging fruit, apple trees, or anything of the like.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
First one of the game, guys.
Oh boy.
20.
That's an 8.
Listen, Mystic, he didn't mean it. You're very worthwhile. I'm talking to the pony.
I love it.
You're the most valuable thing I have. Promise.
Jubei, their banter just keeps creeping in the back of your mind. And over the course of the last few days of travel, you found some roots and shrubs and berries that you can use. But as we are coming out of winter into the beginnings of spring, there's not quite as much abundant as there will be as time goes on. But you're looking around, searching, see something that might be, and you look, and nope, that's a pine cone. Okay, keep going, and then you just hear them bantering, and just creeps right back in.
I'll lead off, unless I'm dressed directly, I'll lead off from the trail and just work my way through the woods, walking along, keeping up with the cart, but just enjoying nature around me.
Okay.
On a stroll with the glaive over my shoulder.
Do be careful of dogs, and I just continue flicking without even looking up.
Listen, the moon is not a color.
Just a gasp, and the puzzle falls into a pocket. This is not up for debate. We will not be discussing this again. I have already told you. My favorite color is the soft, illuminated blue, only to be described as moon.
As you all venture down the road, the fork in the road appears in the distance, and the road curves off to the right, cutting into the wood, heading towards the Schemin Bluffs, and continues on further southward. And at this fork, you see a figure in the road, struggling with something, trying to drag it across the road towards the wood line.
Is it body shaped?
He
said it.
Could be. It's a little hard to tell at this point. It's pretty far off. Just this clearing heading down the road has enabled you to see a little further than you ordinarily would.
Having a heads up that there will probably be a social interaction in his near future, you see Mist like stand up a little straighter, and he clears his throat as if he's getting ready to perform.
Reese rolls his eyes.
I come out of the woods and join them next to the cart as we're coming down. Is in your area? You're from here? Is this? Do people usually drag things across roads? Is this part of your culture?
Only if they are not fortunate enough to have a cart. You see,
He's not wrong. I can't imagine why.
And as you continue to get closer and the trees clear a little bit, as this figure is struggling to pull this mound of something across the road towards the woodline, you can see a cart, a covered wagon, and 2 horses, and another lump on the ground near the
much
wagon.
nicer cart.
Well, that is strange. To drag something and have a cart, that is difficult.
Perhaps he's working out.
This area, you're saying there's lumps on the ground in a cart. Are we seeing the remnants of a battle?
So at this point, as we are closing in a little more within 100 to 200 feet or so, go ahead and give me perception checks, everyone. See how much we're able to glean from this as we're surveying it.
17. Would you like it put in chat?
Same. 17.
Okay.
5.
Jubei is busy scanning the woodline.
But apples.
The 2 of you see that one of these shapes, it is definitively humanoid. The
well,
other
that's not
2
great.
lumps on the ground are not, including the one being drug. And as you are closing, you're starting to see a little more detail about this figure. Bright colored clothing. Bright reds and oranges and grays mixed in to break up the pattern, and gray ashen skin.
Perhaps it is a fellow troubadour. I will go introduce myself, and I just start walking off towards them.
Oh, and I like pull Mystic really quickly to follow him. Come on, girl, let's go.
Closing in a little distance, our new friend finally spots you and stops. Deadpan. Looks around. This is not what it seems.
Yeah, I could tell it looks a little bad.
Yeah, Hale, please come. Do you mind giving me a hand? And as you all close in a little more, a few things strike you immediately. This figure, the gray breaking up the patches of bright orange, yellow, and red on his outfit almost looks like a flame across his chest, like the wisp of a flame rising. And his gray, ashen skin literally looks like ash. It literally looks like this being has walked out of the fire, and a flame red beard comes to a point very well manicured point. Mustachio.
What is your name, friend? And I'll just continue casually walking towards him.
Hello. I'm Teclis. Telfin Teclis. Nice to meet you all. Merchant by trade. This... And he points over towards one of the lumps. That's a little more towards the south, and you see a human male in armor just rended and turning. There's a horse equally rended, and the figure that Telfin has been dragging across the road looks to be a boar of some kind, and his frail form clearly struggling with this proposition. It's been a day. Please, do you mind giving me a hand? And as your eyes scan past the horizon, you see another figure or figures coming down the road towards you from the south. Are you two riding, or what are we doing, Herodrin and Selu?
Probably walking. Just leading my horse by the reins.
Okay.
And Selu would be walking to the opposite side of... on the opposite side of the horse from Herodrin. Probably petting the horse as they go.
Well, I think we'd be happy to help you here, but could you mind telling us what happened? It seems a bit strange, if you don't mind me pointing out.
Yes. Like I said, it's been a day. Short version of the story. I'm a merchant by trade. Points at his wagon behind him, and you see Cinderfall Mead across the side. I've been coming down to the festival. Oh, this looks awful.
You are exactly what we've been looking for. We just ran out of wine. We'd be happy to help. We'd be happy to help with a bit of payment in return.
Really? And there's an immediate.
I have
There's an immediate.
I have a very
change.
large friend.
An immediate change in his demeanor from a "I look like I got my hand in the cookie jar" to "business." You say?
Well, I mean, you need a bit of help cleaning up first, but we could talk about it perhaps in a bit.
Yeah. Yes, please, and plenty of boar for the fire. Oh, there's more. Lovely. So, Selu and Herodrin, as you are continuing down the road, you see a gaggle around a wagon and a cart, and dead bodies as you are approaching.
Okay, so we can tell that they're dead bodies? Like, we're that close?
You can tell that they're dead bodies at this point.
Okay, so I'm going to come up short, and I'm going to stop my horse. And I'm going to look at Selu, and I'm going to say...
Selu pops their head under the horse and, looks... is there a problem? There seems to be a bit of a commotion up there.
Well, yes, I think that might be the problem. Do you not see the bodies? Is this normal for this type of place?
I can't say that I would call it normal necessarily, but perhaps we should see what happened?
Herodrin, the thing that sticks out to you immediately... Yeah, there's a body of some creature, there's a body of some being, there's a horse. Slain in the middle of the road.
trust. I do not feel good about this.
Well, perhaps we should determine exactly what did happen before we make any rash judgments.
So I'm going to look at these two new gentlemen that are walking down the road. Can I make them out from where we are?
Yes, at this point we are all close enough to be able to see each other.
Can you describe yourselves?
So to one side of the horse, you would see a rather lithe, roughly 5'10" figure, very thin, long brown hair in a Viking-esque kind of style, so like a combination of loose hair and braids down, and you see as they get closer, there's actually a set of cornrows that run from one side of the head to the other and come down into 3 forward braids trailing down. In generally greens and browns, as they continue to get closer, the browns would show to be like a well-fitted leather cuirass. And the forest green colors that they're wearing otherwise look to be a combination of loose and pulled tight, wrapped in various different ways across the torso, arms, and upper legs. Pants and travel boots otherwise.
In the middle is a horse. She is she's like black and white, and the colors kind of run together, and so there are like sections where it's fading between from the black to the gray to the white. But as you're watching, it's weird. Like you swear that every time you look away from the horse, the patterns are just slightly different when you look back, but it's not changing enough to convince yourself that that's actually happening. You're just kind of, did that change? Maybe, no, I guess not. I'm just crazy. But you keep doing that. No saddle. There are some like some packs like hung on her, and there's some like equipment and things hanging off her, but there's no saddle, which you would expect. On the other side of the horse is my character. He's a tall half orc. His skin is like this grayish green color. He's not particularly thick. He's very lean, but you can tell that there's not an ounce of fat on his body. It's all very lean, muscled, and most of his chest is exposed. He has like a wrap around his legs and his waist, and then it like comes up over one shoulder, but the rest of his chest is basically exposed. And on his chest, you see tattoos, and you can't really tell what they are, but they look fairly simple. They look like lines, dots and lines connected, almost, and you can't really make out what they are. Big fro. He's got like a halberd on his back, and yeah, that's what you see.
Awesome. And as these two come down the road, and we're 30, 40 feet away at this point, what are they seeing in you guys?
Oh boy. First of all, we're surrounded by bodies.
Right.
Exciting.
Should we start at the top and work our way down? How do we want to do this?
Let's go alphabetically. Bill, you want to start us off?
First, before we get into character descriptions, the field. How many bodies are we looking at?
3. There is a boar, a man, and a horse.
So, investigation-wise, can I determine that the goring of the man was done by said boar?
Roll a real quick survival check for me.
Ooh, survival. What can go wrong? It's a +1. That's a 2.
Okay. Difficult to tell at this point.
Something happened.
This person you don't know here, and your friends are just prattling on and already agreeing to help, and now there are these 2 figures walking down the road.
As long as nothing appears dangerous, you guys would see a red-scaled dragonborn in very Eastern-inspired kimono robe over armor. Very ornate sword hanging at his side, and a very rusted, ill-kept glaive that he's kind of poking very confusedly at the dead boar with.
Awesome. And any hair or identifying marks?
Scales, very Chinese dragon style, white hair coming down into a top knot, and beard.
Awesome.
Nice.
Patrick.
Sean. Oh, me? Okay. So you see two very standoffish figures that look, very resplendent and decorative. And then you see Reese, who is 5 foot tall, average build, average weight. He is a human with tan skin. He has black hair that's kind of graying on the sides, pulled back into a really, really nasty looking like man bun. It's a mess. Probably hasn't undone it in days. He wears like a loose kind of black and gray poncho that kind of works like a cloak thrown over his shoulder. He's got really simple wool tunic and trousers and nice leather boots. He has a staff that he walks with. Otherwise, he's just leading a not so pretty looking pony. I can't remember the descriptions of the pony. Gabe, if you could enlighten us.
Very dark, shaggy,
That's
runt of the litter.
Yes. Pulling
Low-legged pony.
a very raggedy cart, like very simple, 2 wheels and some plywood between it.
That we did name him Tony.
He looks very unassuming. No weapons, no definitive features, just a human.
Awesome. And Sean, to describe yourself briefly.
So approaching you as he would look at Reese. You are right. There is no reason not to love these people. And then he walks forward and goes to present himself both to you and the caravan master, or merchant. And you see 5'9"-ish, regular build. He's very toned, but not like bulky, muscular. And he has blue fur, the same color as the moon Nias, with golden eyes and 2 very large ram-like horns that come out from his forehead and then extend past his ears before curling back up. He has kind of slicked back with like natural grease hair, a trimmed, slightly maintained, very similar facial hair to mine. He wears a incredibly fine shirt with a pin that you can't quite make out under it, and then very worn but well-kept black leather pants. He has his cloak is marbled, similar to how you described the horse, with like mottled whites and grays and blacks, much less white than anything else. And he currently has his hood pulled down and is very like posturing towards you guys as if he's should be known as somebody. And he presents you all with a bow. Hello, I am Sir Misota, Free Knight of Her Majesty's Queendom, and I am here to help all of you.
The ash-colored human with the red beard and flame on his chest. More of you. Hello, strangers. This is not what it seems. This was my bodyguard to get me through the wood. Oh, you're not bandits, are you?
Are you bandits?
Quite the opposite. We both slayed back.
Sayla will look at the horse and then look over at the Hrodrin and look back at the horse and go, "Not last I checked."
What do you think? Are you a bandit? I'm asking the horse if she is a bandit.
I've traveled with these two, pointing at Reese and Mist, for a week, and they have not participated in banditry.
Oh, if it's
Well,
only been a
that's-
week.
That is
I-
good.
I like gesture towards him. What he said?
Before that, I cannot attest.
If you
No.
if you have any apples in that cart of yours, they may be in danger. But I think you will be more or less safe from us.
That there are few, not many. It seems Tony likes apples, and he gestures at the lump in the road.
Perhaps it's best that you explain quite exactly what happened here.
I want to go
for
check the person. The
all
dead.
of
Yeah,
our
can-
clarity's sake.
Yeah, now that Selu and I are like on top of this, can we make some kind of check to see what's happened?
Yes.
Selu specifically would like an insight check on this homeboy.
Okay. So as Selu is studiously studying the gentleman speaking with you, Reese is going over and checking, and Kai is kind of surveying the scene to see what he sees.
Did
Kai,
you just say that Jacob is studiously studying what this guy is saying?
I did.
Studiously studying.
He's studiously observing. There we go.
I've never
There we
seen
go.
one. I've never seen
That's
someone
the
with
witch
such grey skin and bright red hair before. It's quite fascinating.
So,
Can I-
Prodrin, give me a survival check.
Yep.
I would like to offer to help Reese comparing being familiar with knife marks and stab wounds and comparing that to
Ooh.
what a boar's tusk might do.
First roll of the game, ladies and boys. We got a 1.
All right. Selu, insight check. Reese, medicine check, please.
10 on the die, so 15.
It was a 6 total, if that matters.
I got a natural 20.
Just one.
Balance.
Bill, you like the whole first. I caught like the last word of that. Try that again.
No, I was just correcting Derek. I was the one that got the first one.
That's true.
My roll, first one of the game.
And my first natural 20 would be a 27 medicine check, sir.
Jesus. Okay. So, Prodrin, as you're
I'm a
surveying,
little distraught about the horse, I imagine.
as you are surveying this scene, you're looking. Okay, there's a footprint there, and there's like a hoof, but then there's a horseshoe right there, and it just your brain keeps going right back to that, and looking at these other creatures, you just drift over to the horse.
And so I'm gonna like kneel down. I don't want to get blood on me, but I want to kneel down and basically just kind of sit over the horse for
Okay.
a minute.
Selu, he appears to be incredibly nervous, but more of you than anything else. Reese, this human man, dark hair, simple leather armor, a long sword at his side, crossbow just destroyed. Next to him has 2 very large tusk marks in his chest and thigh.
Well, that's
No.
what killed him.
No other weapons.
The boar was framed.
Well, there's your problem.
So
You keep describing these knife marks, but this it doesn't even look close to a knife mark.
I could not tell from where I was. I apologize for misleading you. I think
No, it's
it
okay.
was-
It's
Jubei.
figure it out now.
Since I rolled so amazingly investigating this boar,
Hmm.
I at least know it's a pig, right?
Yeah, it is a wild boar.
Yeah. So since everything seems to be covered, I will pull out my knife and start looking at the boar for proper trimming and dressing to get the meat off of it. At the same time, I want to glance up from the carcass and I want to get an insight check on our 2 new friends that
Okay.
have joined us. Just
Uh,
their mannerisms, how they're walking, and just see if they have any ill intent towards us.
Okay. Feel free to roll. If either of you are intentionally trying to convey or deceive anything, please let me know.
That's a 19.
So
Ooh.
from
Perceptive, I am not. Insightful, I am.
From the half-orc character, as I'm approaching, you probably are getting a little bit of nervousness, and then when I get to the actual scene and I move over to the horse, you can tell I'm like visibly upset, almost angry. But yeah, that's all you're getting from me.
Mental notes: do not get meat from the horse. Okay.
I told you, Jubei, we cannot do that.
In terms of kind of like what you would observe from Selu there, very straightforward in what they're doing. They're talking to this person, trying to get a feel of what happened, kind of judging them, but also very clearly kind of keeping themselves where the Hrodran moves. They kind of like shift in between the Hrodran and others, and kind of like keeps any conversation that happens. Selu is kind of like imposing themselves to move into that conversation.
Love it.
Right. So no ill intent or nothing. They seem like they're actually wanting to help.
Very much on the level.
So Jubei will let his guard down and enjoy field dressing and like slicing up this pig with a big toothy grin on his face.
As everyone has started focusing on this scene of carnage, Telflin, the gentleman with the gray skin and the fiery red goatee. Again, you're not going to rob me, correct?
As he says that, Mist is shamelessly patting down the dead body.
Mist, a moment, please. Give it a bit of a moment before you do that.
As he says this, Selu would kind of like point over at Mist and say, "Well, I don't intend to. I can't attest for that one."
It is not robbing. He does not need it.
No, but
I won't rob you. And I just kind of like wave off Telfin and go back to patting this guy down.
Listen, friend, we're not here to bother you. I promise. We're just heading on through to Schema. We're moving through right past. We thought we'd help you on the road.
Oh, you're going to Schema. How about the two of you?
Schema as well for us.
See it. We are all going. This will be great, and we need mead. We won't hurt you. And I just
interesting.
I will admit we were all out of wine.
Well, Tony here was my hired guard for the journey. Clearly that worked well. He guarded very well. I am perfectly fine. However, Tony didn't make it. I don't really particularly look forward to traveling through the woods alone.
Neither do I.
Did Tony have a surname?
Never got it, to be honest.
So, when we bury him, here lies Tony?
I'm sad to say there's not much I can do for him. He's quite dead.
Oh, no, he's been dead for hours. It's fine. I was
for the horse.
Trying to pull the boar over so I could... Oh, you're quite astute with that knife, friend. I was trying to carve up some of it to take with me, but I'm not, again, particularly comfortable traveling through the woods alone.
You'd be impressed at what kind of food he could cook up with this meat.
Are you okay over there? It is just a horse.
He does care for horses quite profoundly. Just give him a moment. He'll be okay.
You're welcome to the hooves or glue or whatever you need.
No. No. If
the saddle is mine, though. I would like it back.
Right. Give me a moment, and Selu will turn back over towards the Hrodran, kind of coming down by the horse and like resting a hand on the animal. Just clearly also saddened, but only just now really like showing that. Are you all right, friend?
I'm fine. It is unfortunate, but he is right. This cannot go to waste. If we leave it here, it will have died for nothing. And then I start. I'm also going to start like carving it up like Jubei is doing to the.
I was just about to ask, would you be more comfortable with it being put to use or being laid to rest?
Yes, we should use it.
Very well.
And so I'll start stripping it of the equipment on it, and then I'll start carving it up.
What time of day is it?
Selu will pull their hunting knife, asking if you would like assistance, and also lend a hand if you would, or leave you to it if you would prefer to do so alone.
I put my hand out and I say, "Go find out more about our potential traveling companions."
Very well.
Reese, to answer your question, it is mid-late afternoon.
How close is the body to the horse? Like, can I overhear them talking?
Make a perception check.
Ooh.
17 plus 2, 19.
Okay. While they were being quiet, I don't hear any intent of being secretive. So we'll say with a roll that stellar, yes, you can hear.
So without even looking up, as I like stick fingers down this guy's pockets and just move through his vest and anything else he might be wearing. Do not worry about that horse. We brought another horse. It is balanced, right? You lose a horse, we bring a horse. All the horses are still here. It's the same number. It's fine.
He gestures over at the runt pony behind him.
Yeah, I raise an eyebrow from the boar with blood running up to my arms, my sleeves rolled up, and just kind of, that's not a horse?
Does the small one count as a horse? I've not seen one quite that small before.
Listen, she doesn't take kindly to talking to her like that, please.
I don't mean offense. I'm just curious.
She distrusts me like a horse, so I assume she's a horse.
And when he says that, you notice that there is a visible discomfort from the animals. The Mystic, the nag pulling the cart, is kind of intentionally sidestepping anytime Mist gets close. And the one time you have come close enough to the covered wagon, the horses kind of rolled their eyes and stamped and shied away a little bit as well.
Kind of keeping an eye on Mist, Selu will walk over to Mystic and crouch down and give a few scritches and pats along the nuzzle and whatnot, and be like, "Are you all right, friend? Are they taking care of you?" And just starts talking to the pony like it's another member of the party.
I will walk over how dare he talk to my horse that I talk to. I'll walk over and watch him.
That's all you guys are doing. It's just guarantee that this poor pony is going to die.
Just a quick check over of whether or not the pony seems well taken care of. And kind of using this as a basis of judgment of character to the party.
This is a report card.
Yeah, this is legitimately your report card. How about go ahead and roll an animal handling for me.
Okay. Animal handling.
And then we're going to come back around.
Okay. Ooh. That would be a nat 20.
All right. Non-combat roll from Jacob. It's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So if you need a grand total, that would be 25.
Okay. So this pony has seen better years.
Seen some shit.
But she seems very well cared for. Her hooves are cleaned out. Her teeth are good. Her coat is shiny, as shiny as it's going to get anyway. With the shag of her fur bright-eyed. And full of as much energy as the old lady's gonna get.
I'm gonna walk up to Selu like a dude showing off his like really crappy car. Reese, pleasure to meet you.
As Reese walks up, Selu will shift some of the wrappings around their waist, and like as they do, like it opens up into what seems to be like a makeshift pocket, and pulls out an apple from one of the nearby trees that they would have pulled down in the process of traveling. Takes out the knife, cuts off a half, and hands it. Puts their hand out towards Mystic, and then looks back, probably coming face to face with Reese for the first time. Is it Reese or Rise? Sorry,
Reese.
And a couple details that I left off while we were still a little bit at a distance. Olive colored skin, bright green eyes, and a tattoo at the center of their forehead that is 3 like swirling lines kind of twisted together. And because I didn't mention it before at mistake, long elfin ears.
Jubei, as they are interacting with Mystic right behind you, you immediately hear the crunch of an apple. You have been looking for fruit over the last week and have seen none.
Kind of daggers in the eyes as I see the apple being fed to the pony. Kind of okay with it because I do like Mystic the pony, but very, very much upset that I have
Such
not
a waste.
found it. Yeah, I do have berries, but once I've trimmed enough of this pig to where it's not going to go to waste, like I'm not trying to get enough to where it's going to go to waste, I add it to the bottom of our pork barrel that's in the that way we use what's on top.
Absolutely.
And as I see the apple, the dressing sailor, excuse me, bowing. Did you find that around here?
Back up the trail the opposite direction there. Not from the direction you came. I don't really remember how far back it was.
It's been a few days.
A few days back.
Jubei, I'm sorry to say it, but it would probably best without it.
Thank you. And go back to adding and clean myself up.
So, Reese, was it? And
Aye.
they will hold out their hand once Mystic is done eating, and Selu, a pleasure.
And that is Mist, as you've already guessed, and this Jubei.
And you just hear, Sir Mistletoe!
I, Sir Mistletoe.
Again, at the mention of my name, as I continue to clean myself, I did not want to introduce myself with bloody hands.
I will specifically not use Jubei's surname, just Jubei.
At Mistlethar's correction, there's just a sidelong smirk, and then to Jubei, since your hands are covered, Selu will bow, similar to what you just did a moment ago. Nice to meet all of you.
So I imagine at this point I've finished cleaning up the horse, and I'm probably like standing fairly close to you, but not engaging whatsoever in the conversation. Instead, I have my horse, and I am talking to it, and I'm talking to it loud enough that you all can hear what I'm saying.
Perfect.
So what I'm saying is, I do not know these people. I don't know if we should trust them, but Selu seems to like them. What do you think? Should we travel with them? The horse. And I'm still just kind of like stroking the horse, talking to it directly to it, not even acknowledging that you guys are there.
Is he talking to his horse?
This one talks to horses more than you do. And I
is
like
it-
waving at Reese.
do you not consider it normal to speak with animals?
I'm going to interrupt here briefly. We are standing in the middle of the road with a few carcasses.
Oh, I forgot about you.
I'll work on that. I am Telfin Teclis of Cinderfall. Nice to meet you all. Traveling merchant.
Aye, Mead. You told us.
You are heading to Schema. You appear to be decently able. Anyone interested in a few extra coins along the way?
I take it you expect us to do a better job than Tony.
I hope so, yes.
Tony.
That may not have been his name. I really legitimately do not remember.
Do you know anything about the man? It'd be a shame to leave him to rot on the side of the road.
He was from the States, I believe. Not particularly talkative. Just wanted the coin and the alcohol.
I look at Mist when he says that. That could be a bonus in a traveling companion.
Perhaps, unless he's the only one you're traveling with. Regardless. So, I am heading to the festival in Schema with my wares, as well as some deliveries for one of the inns there. If you were interested, I would have the lot of you to escort me through the wood. It's not extremely dangerous by any means, but, a man traveling alone with fine wares and boars.
He says this as we are witnessing a scene where a boar took out a horse and a dude.
Yes.
Well, at least there'd be 5 of us this time, with a few more horses.
They can't be as bad as the dogs. And I look back at Reese.
I do not like the dogs.
Well-
if you're not interested, I understand. Another day or so, another caravan may come by, but we're losing the sun. I don't think we'll make it through the wood today. But
Well,
Listen,
we're
friend,
heading
we're already-
to Schema regardless. Certainly for the festival as well, so we seem to be headed the same way on the same timeline. I see no reason for you to bother yourself with the dangers of the outdoors on your own.
What he said.
Looking back and kind of walking a little closer back over to the horse and the Rodrin, will address the horse and state, "So what do you think? A little extra coin?" And as they're doing that, they kind of shift eye gaze over to the Rodrin and back, but is addressing the horse in this situation.
The horse not.
We've talked more to the animals than we have to each other.
We
This is
have.
the most passive aggressive party.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not passive aggressive. We just love animals so much.
I have the excuse of a -1 charisma. What's your excuse?
I'm a peasant.
So speaking of -1 charisma, I'm staring unabashedly at the merchant, and then after a long moment, I'm like, pardon my rudeness, but what are you? I have never seen your like.
Me. We're talking to me again, not the horse. Lovely.
Well, your horse didn't make it, so yes, we're speaking to
No,
you.
my horses are fine. They're on the wagon over here. I got a little scratch, and he looks down at. There is, in fact, a scratch in his clothing where the tusk completely missed his leg. But
I roll my eyes.
other than that, I'm fine. I'm from Cinderfall.
Complete.
It is a beautiful volcano. The best volcano ever.
What's a volcano?
So there is an island in the Eshman Sea where, see, we're not well traveled. You seem to be well
Still
traveled.
blank stare.
It
gone
points
many
at
places.
Misselthar. You seem to be well traveled. Have you been there?
I briefly in port while switching ships.
Oh, so you went through Cinderholm itself. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It was
So
quite lovely.
Cinderfall is an island, and my people come from there. We are of mixed lineage and health, but we live on an island with a volcano.
Describe one more time what his skin looks like.
So his skin is ashen gray, and he has a fiery colored goatee.
Okay.
No hair on the top of his head. Eyes are normal. Hands are normal. No.
Ever
no
since
other-
he has used the phrase, I can't remember exactly what you said. Something about we're losing the light or we're losing the day. Mist is like more upbeat. He's looking up at the sky. He's waiting, like almost anticipatingly, of like looking up at the sky, and he's like, "Yes, it is almost night. Are we going?"
No, not through the
Perhaps
woods.
we can camp here.
Well,
Wow.
we do have a clearing. Bill?
No, I was just saying, while this conversation's going, if they're speaking about all this, Jubei would move to the side and move to the area where Tony's body is. He'll kneel down and place his hands on his hips and kind of meditate, say a couple of words, and he'll put his hand on his chest and say, I am sorry that your path was ended early, but I will take the potential of your life on my own responsibility, and I will start digging a grave with the glaive.
So before you start digging, you say that stuff, and then you like pick your head up and you realize Kai is standing kind of uncomfortably close to you. And then I say, "Thank you for that. That was quite beautiful."
And
And then as you start digging, I start helping you.
awkwardly, yes, every life hopefully lives up to its potential, and when it is ended too soon, it is the responsibility of us to take it on ourselves.
I like this.
Bill.
It is a shame you plan to put him in this hall. Father will not be able to look upon him. So much for wasted time.
Bill, as Herdrin leans down and starts helping you dig out, a interesting detail you note about them is that their hands to about here, up their forearms, are stained black.
Like soot, like they're covered in soot almost.
Make note of it.
Pardon?
Just make note of it mentally. I don't ask.
Okay.
It's rude.
So, are you all interested in traveling together?
I will look at Jubei and Mist and like shrug.
Everybody's busy.
We can eat bowl this evening. There's some
think-
left here.
See,
How much coin are you offering us?
5 silver crowns apiece.
I want to look over at Selu because I have no idea.
People have no idea. About money.
right.
Fair amount.
Uh,
I don't want to let him know that I don't know that, but I'm looking over at Selu, kind of like, what do you think?
standing kind of like behind the guy as you started talking to him, mimicking similar to what Rise just did. Selu looks at you and goes,
Can I make an insight roll to see if this is like something that he's short selling us on, or?
I look down into my purse with very little coinage. Oh, we'll take it. Sounds great.
Go ahead, Herodrin.
Mother.
5 crowns
I'm
to
not
travel
like
with him. 5 crowns to travel the same direction we are already traveling, and all we have to do is stay safe. You seem
That's
good.
what I was thinking.
Five silver crowns. It's you were already going there anyway. It's a little extra coin in your pocket. I'll feed you along the way. You don't have to get into your rations.
Well, I will admit that I'd rather he feed me, and I'll point to Jubei. He makes quite a good meal.
Well, I have some fresh.
We'll take the mead.
stores.
We'll take the mead for sure.
That is not for sale yet, but I'm
Perhaps we can
sure.
sample it.
But
sure I
if
can
it
make a cask
will be for
fall
sale,
off.
then we will need those silver crowns. So, I think this seems a good plan.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 on my insight, so I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Sounds great.
Lovely. It's a night or 3 in one of the inns there, I'm sure. And
Tell me,
perhaps
you
we'll
said there
become
was a
fast
clearing?
friends.
You said there was a clearing?
Look around you, right? And as he kind of gestures, and as you see, similar to the artwork that we have out, it's fairly open here. And then, as you are at this Y, you see the road just disappear into the woods. This is a well-traveled path, but the trees kind of lattice up over it, blocking out a lot of the sky. It is a dense forest leading in towards the Schemen Cliffs.
Relying on my background feature here, the Wanderer feature, how do I know how far we are from Schema? How long it would take us?
On the open plain, with a fast horse and a little bit of wind on your side, you could make it in a day. Traveling with this lot, probably 2.
And
how
what time of
how much
day?
time is-
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
I was gonna
what
say, how
time
much
of
time
day
is
are
left?
we at currently?
We're in the afternoon.
Yeah, you're late afternoon at this point.
I don't want to take up this whole time trying to bury Tony, but I'll just make it as quick as possible and
Yeah.
find a flat rock as a marker just to give him something peaceful. The horse, on the other hand, I mean, I look at him. He's the one that was preying on the horse. I'm like, do we need to bury the horse as well? I'm sorry, I'm strange to the cultures here.
I probably already have. Like I carved up what was useful of it, and I think I probably just disposed of the rest of it.
Perhaps tossed into the wood line for
Right.
continuing the cycle.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I hope it does not attract dogs.
I take the glaive and I just very rusty glaive and beat it against the rock that I placed as a marker just to get the dirt off of it. I don't clean it or anything, and I just carry it back to the cart.
Well, if you're worried about dogs, then we should probably keep moving. There's still light left.
Are there dogs here? I've not seen any. I've made this trip a few times.
Apparently, they ran into dogs. They keep talking about them.
Well, I'd hope that we'd left them behind, but we can't be sure.
We haven't
Oh,
seen any for a
fine.
week.
Fantastic. Well, if you're open to the idea of traveling together, and I'm happy to pay you 2 crowns up front, and the remaining 3 upon arrival, just for a guarantee. And welcome your company for the evening.
Oh, I have one important detail first. One moment, and Selu will walk over to his horses and similarly speak to them, check on them, see what kind of state they're in.
Okay. With your animal handling check earlier, they seem to be working draft horses, but in good shape generally.
I bow to him, the merchant, and as I bow, I say, Jubei, Sojin, at your service. I will happily escort you to Schema. However, when it comes to payment, I believe my friends will skip the crowns and would like the meat, or at least some of it.
I'll see what I can do. Need to check the barrels. Tony drank through most of my one that fell off the cart. But I like where your head's at. But no, I insist. I must pay you the coin. 5 crowns is.
We'll make you a trade. Tonight, I promise you the best meal you have eaten in a long time in exchange for mead for my friends.
You know, the best meal I've eaten in a week or 3 probably cost about a gold crown. I'm sure I could come up with at least a gold crown.
I promise you my food will put that to shame.
I look forward to it. Lovely. This is fantastic. Okay. And
As you guys are talking, I unabashedly interrupt, and I'm just like, we should get going. The light is fading.
It is.
Selu will proceed back to the group, wiping their hands off after having given the other half a quarter apple each that they had left to the 2 draft horses, and then like beckoning them to like follow them as they rejoin the rest of the group. Well then, these seem in good order. They'll see us through just fine, I think. Shall we move along then?
about that time, coming back from around the cabin, holding a bench that he had unfolded down from the side of the wagon, is Telfin. Are we not setting we can travel into the wood a bit.
I figured we'd get off the road at least.
You want to eat near your dead friend? I do
What he
not
said.
suggest it.
And frankly, it remains to tend to attract wild animals. We should probably distance ourselves at least a bit.
I didn't even think of it. You all, I like you all. Okay, very well. Give me a moment, and he disappears back around to hang the bench back up on the other side of his wagon.
Perhaps they are carnivores.
I stay within earshot of Reese and Mist. I am surprised he has survived this long.
I would agree.
Sayla will
Is it
That was a
like-
big
is it-
boar.
Sayla will look
Is
at
it
the
time for
Rodrin's
it to-
horse and be like, "Was that supposed to be a joke? I don't."
It's hard to
Look at-
explain.
I look at Thelu. He thinks he's humorous. Go with it.
Right. What's a
And
great
Lily-
joke? And Saylu will just head down the road.
Do you lie to your friends often?
If it
I
makes
feel like
them
this is
smile,
not-
yes.
I do not understand your cultures.
Pulling Reese to the side. Do we trust them now? Can I stop performing?
You can stop performing. I trust them.
Delightful. And you see, like, Mist's whole demeanor. He just, like, his shoulders slump again. He pulls his cloak up, and he's just, like, chilling in the back of the group.
Awesome.
Nice.
Telfin climbs back up onto his wagon, and after a little bit of finagling, brings the horses back around onto the road. So, we traveling then? We have a few hours of light left. It'll get darker a little faster in the wood, but
It's been longer from the wood than I've been in my entire life. I look forward to this. And Saylu just
You
takes off at
are-
a trot back, like headed towards the forest.
awesome.
Well then.
Disappearing behind you all as you begin to travel into the wood. The open skies and open fields of the lower lands. What? Oh, where'd they go? Is your marching order?
Especially heading back into forested area, Saylu would probably take point. At least initially, until they kind of get over their initial excitement to be back amongst the trees. But will stay relatively close to the Rodrin,
Well, so I was gonna say I'm still a little uncomfortable, and so I'm probably riding my horse at the back so that I can see everybody.
Okay.
So
Then
like
at that point,
you're good
if
to go
you're
ahead.
if you're clearly like have your distance that you need,
I'm not
then-
like staying excessively far back.
Yeah.
So that everybody is in sight.
If you seem good, Selu would go ahead.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not like uncomfortable. I'm just kind of wary.
Right. So like
So,
as they go to like take point and run ahead, any of the looser folds of like the wrapping garment with a few quick gestures, you see as they start into a jog, everything like tightens down very quickly in just deft hand motions, and it's all wrapped in tight now, and they take off into a sprint.
Okay.
So cool.
So, go ahead and line yourselves up in what would be your marching order.
I'd probably just be walking Mystic.
Depending upon the speed that we're traveling, if we're just traveling, as long as we're just traveling normal like speed, Jubei would be towards the middle, but bouncing back and forth as he does his typical thing of just venturing off into the woods and coming back.
Awesome.
With occasional berries or items of interest, tasting them and
Mushrooms.
slipping some into his pack.
Mushrooms. You've been into Farmer Market's crops.
looking up into the tops of the trees or whatever for any of the local fruits he has yet to be able to consume and try and taste.
Absolutely. So, looking at us, Reese, you should have control over Mystic now. So,
Oh boy.
Telfin's wagon is in the middle of the road, just slowly prodding along. Does anyone wish to engage Telfin as we go forward?
We just met.
I'll give him some space to worry about things.
I apologize. I will be back in just one moment. My phone died, so I'm gonna grab a charger. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Is Telflin riding? Is he like riding at the head of the wagon, or the horse is just kind of driving it itself?
Yeah,
Yourselves.
he is seated on the wagon,
Okay.
driving the team from there. Looks back at Mistlethar. You appear to be a bit more civilized than the rest. Would you care to join me?
Certainly. And you see him like drop his cloak, and he stands up taller again, and he starts putting on that kind of show, and catches up to the wagon.
Thankful Jubei did not hear that. He would take that as an insult.
Reese just scoffs.
So, like, Mist would actually look back at Reese and be like,
So, where are you from? You and your friends, the three of you who came down the road.
we are from very different places. I am from a little bit of everywhere.
A rambler like myself. It's a pleasure.
I would say part of it through for a while, but it fell apart.
Groups of travelers often do, especially performers, as you mentioned.
Especially when boars are involved.
Oh, that. Yeah, that's probably my fault. I let him get into the mead.
Work and pleasure, it should not be mixed.
No, he had a bit of a problem. Anyway, so I heard something about Iona when you were speaking.
I am recently a free knight of Her Majesty, the very gracious woman.
Indeed, never met her myself, but that's fantastic.
And
As
he will like
eyes you up and down.
he like leans forward and shows like the sigil on his brooch. He's like, yes, see, it is authentic.
May I? And kind of leans in, and he pulls a looking glass out of a pocket and leans in.
If you attempt to take it, I will have to kill you. But yes, you may look at it.
No, your dagger is sharp. I believe you. Interesting. Tucks it back into a pocket in his cloak and or in his coat, and as he does, you realize that each of the little patches of color that looks like a flame is a different pocket.
A Technicolor Dreamcoat. This is interesting garb you wear. I did not pay much attention, but I do not remember them from the time in port.
Oh, it's a bit of a show, really. It's back home. There's a what's the word? Belief? It's not really a religion, so to say. Spirituality, perhaps, about that we all come from fire. So playing into that a little as I've traveled around, sticking out as I do, it has helped out a little. I've been all over. I've been all the way down to where your scaled friend there, the region anyway. They aren't very fond of outsiders. They deal with most of us cinder folk, but not particularly fond of business otherwise.
I too have been turned away from there. I do not feel bad.
No, I wasn't turned away, just not accepted, so to say. It's difficult doing business through intermediaries.
This is also fair. I have also felt not accepted, and I gesture and do a sweeping move to my horns.
Indeed. Well, we all stick out in some ways. Matter of fact, you all stick out. Kind of waves generally at a lot of you, except for that one. Gestures back over towards Reese.
He's picking his ear.
Looks remarkably average.
He is my favorite. He also likes the moon.
Are you a fan of moon lore?
I appreciate the Nihas very much.
Wonderful. Well, that's fascinating. And he continues in cordial conversation. Who amongst you would like to roll for this particular leg of your journey as you try to travel into the forest for the beginning? All right, Selu, let's do it. Roll a d20 for me.
Oh boy.
Is this a specific check, or am I just rolling just a straight d20?
You're just rolling a d20 for
Oh,
me.
okay. All right. Dang, I thought I was rolling a survival check. That's a 6.
Okay.
Oh no.
While we travel, I wanted to ask Jubei a question.
Absolutely.
Do you wanna do
Jubei, are you still going in and out of the wood line?
For the new people traveling with us, Jubei has as you're walking, he has the constant interest in everything around him. Think perpetual tourist. Just he is
ADD.
impressed. He is impressed with everything, and just taking it all in.
So at one point, when you wander within 10 feet of me, I just want to say, you hear, I'm up on my horse, and so you would just hear unprompted, so you are a warrior.
To an extent.
Are you wearing armor?
Yes.
Like
And,
samurai style armor?
yes.
Okay.
Underneath a robe.
Okay. So would I be able to tell? Can I see?
Yeah, I mean it's open.
Okay.
You would see bits of the shoulder pieces are over the robe, but very much the robes are tied over it, mostly chainmail. But he is armed.
And this is a question for Gabe. Have I ever seen a dragonborn before?
No, you have never seen one in your life.
So, for the second time today, I find myself asking this question, and I I do not mean to be rude, but what are you?
Uh,
I have
I
never
am.
seen your kind.
And I kind of bow, and I know he's walking, so he's going to keep going as I bow and a little formally. I am Jubei Sojun. Um, I do not talk very much of where I come from, but I am one who is born of the dragon, I believe you say in your language.
Born of the dragon. Interesting. You give your name freely. I apologize. I am not ready to give mine.
When I have earned it, you may give it. But do not expect me to have it before I've earned it.
Jubei, thank you for understanding.
Awesome. So,
So wholesome.
yes, so lovely. And now stabbing. You stab each other.
Oh no.
Everyone steals from each other's corpses. It's great. Selu, as you are gallivanting ahead, make a perception check for me. Maybe gallivanting is the wrong word, but additionally,
Skipping.
Jubei, as you are walking through the wood, make a perception check for me.
23.
Okay.
I want to pull a tarot card.
Okay, we'll come back.
Okay.
Oh, 6. Man, my perception checks are horrible. I've got
Okay.
a +3 to them.
Okay. Jubei, as you're walking around, you actually come across a bush of berries and kind of pulls your attention in as you and check the buds and make sure they're not poisonous and pick through those. Selu, a little ways ahead of you with your keen elven eyes that you put on, you see a stark splotch in the road. This kind of red clay road that leads into this beautiful carnivorous forest around you. Temperate, forest around you. There's this dark path kind of stretched diagonally across the center of the road in the distance.
Does this by chance look familiar?
Looks odd
Okay.
as you hear the wagon creaking down the road behind you.
How far ahead is it?
Say 200 feet at this point.
Selu will pull up to a stop ahead of everyone else and kind of look back and hold up a hand. There is something in the road. I'll go check it out. And as they run forward, they produce two from the distance. They pull two rods from the quiver on their back, and they move into a trot forward, but are doing so a little more carefully and stealthily than they were moving previously.
Okay. What does everyone else do as Selu takes off ahead?
I'd like to spur my horse forward and follow her to a point. Like, I'm not getting right up alongside her, but just close enough to support.
Okay.
Similar to the first night that things popped out of nowhere, Mistlethar will drop from the wagon and roll towards the side of the road amongst the bushes or trees to hide.
Okay. Are you staying close to the wagon, or are you
Yeah, like
moving?
90 degrees off to the side of the road.
Okay.
And I'm alone again.
Actually, I was about to fix that. When I see this is going on and we stop, I stay towards the middle, but I move to the side that I can get a clear view of Reese, and so I can see ahead and behind us.
Okay. So, Hrodrin, as you spur your horse to catch up with Selu, trying to find them, you look around and Selu, roll a stealth check for me.
God, what's that one? Also +5. So that is a dirty 20.
Okay. With a dirty 20, they're hard to pick out, but you've been traveling together for a week, so you kind of pick up generally where they're at. Selu continuing forward another 100 feet-ish. There is a dark splotch in the middle of the road. It is much, much darker brown than the rest of the kind of red clay road. And then looking a little further, there's another one, and another one, and another one.
How large are these splotches? Like, are we talking like a singular
5 or 6
spot,
feet
or
across.
they're like a stretch?
5 or 6 feet.
And it's across the road. Does it continue on either side?
Like continuing down the road haphazardly.
Does this look to be moving in a similar fashion to what the Herodrin and I ran into previously?
No.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'd like to make it up to one of the marks then and see if I can't more closely identify what it is, whether it seems like it's from animal or what.
Okay. Make a nature check for me as you're out there. Rodrin, what are you doing in this process?
I'm still closing the distance, kind of keeping an eye out around me and trying to figure out what the hell those things are.
Okay. Make a survival check, Rodrin.
Sure.
14.
Okay. With a 14, you close up and put your hands down, smell it, quick lick. This is blood.
Oh shit.
Can I tell you which card I drew from my tarot deck?
I'm coming back to you here in just a second.
I'm terrified.
17 on my sword.
Okay.
That's the
With
dog.
A 17,
You drew
as
the
you
dog.
were looking, as you were looking around, you look over to where you saw Selu just a moment ago, and as Selu kind of moves out into the road, and you see, no idea how Selu missed it, but there is a impression, like a footprint there that is three-toed with deep claw impressions at the ends.
Hey guys, it's the plot.
How big is it?
About a foot across.
So large.
Whoa.
Do I have any idea what? I have no idea what this is. I imagine.
Not from the road. You would have to get closer and investigate it.
And say at this point, Salu's like examining the blood.
Correct.
Not that I know it's blood. I'll bring my hand to my lips and let out like a whistle, and
Okay.
gesture over towards what I found. Still
Okay.
staying mounted, but just kind of getting them to come check it out.
Okay. Back at the wagon. Reese, you reach in your coat, that place you're always so careful with your items and your deft hands. You reach inside the case, not dropping it this time, and draw a card.
It is the 3 of beasts.
Okay. Awesome.
I know.
You've been on point with those.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's been terrifying.
I'm a little worried about these cards.
So as you draw the 3 of beasts, there's a moment where the gold inlay, this being the most valuable possession you have, this gold leaf.
Besides Mystic. That was
Checked out.
established previously.
Besides Mystic, yeah.
Yeah.
That pony gonna die.
Can't know.
Oh no.
There's this glint almost of intent or feeling as the reflection rolls across the gold inlay. Mist, what are you doing?
So Mist rolled off to the nearest tree off to the side, and is if the cart is still moving, if Telfin's cart is still moving, he's keeping pace with it, but he's actively scanning into the woods to see if anything's coming out or coming towards them.
Okay. So, at this point, the sun is not setting, but definitely lower on the horizon. And as it sets west, it starts to set behind the bluffs in the distance. And you notice this blue teal mist rolling in as the forest around you cools.
Oh no.
Dun dun dun.
I do hope Father is rising tonight.
So, Selu, you are up here. And that mark you saw, Prodron would be just kind of... Oh, I'm on edit, that's why.
Ping it.
Just that mark you saw would be just behind Selu.
Like here.
Yeah.
Oh, that means I'm in the back. Oh dear.
There we go. It was like,
I will
why-
pull out my
where
staff.
did Dolphin's wagon go? There we go.
So did Selu announce that it was blood?
I had not yet, but with you getting closer, they would kind of shift back over towards you.
So I whistled for you, and I'm gesturing towards like some tracks on the side of the road here.
Sailor would absolutely head back and look at the tracks that they missed. Well, something certainly seems to be not so well off here. Can I
What's
get
wrong?
seeing the track specifically here? Can I attempt to find others and look to see if they coincide with the blood, or if they look to be separate, like
Sure.
something stalking whatever was bleeding, or that sort of thing?
Roll a survival check for me.
That would be a 25.
Dang.
I'm so screwed when it comes to combat, guys. Like, it's gonna be so bad.
So, real quick, as we were back at the wagon, I did not check in with Jubei. What is Jubei up to right now?
Everybody's listening intently. Seeing the map, the way I'm saying, where is Selu? Are they closer to us, or they're over here?
Selu's over at the fork in the road, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Actually,
That's what was confusing.
yeah, kind of came back by Frodrin there. So
Yeah. Selu, as you are looking around, you see a series of these prints, and you see a claw mark in a tree. And as you look at it, the tree is almost tilted out, pulled up in the roots a little bit. Not a huge tree, but still moved.
any chance these footprints are anything that I would recognize?
Roll well with that roll.
Entirely up to you. I mean, if I wouldn't have found them in the Terran forest, then probably not.
You would not have.
Okay.
Is it getting dark now that the mist is rolling in?
Sunset's an hour or so off, so you've got a little bit of time.
Okay.
What was it on the road?
It's blood.
So at that, I'll
And like then I'll like point out the additional track marks and like the shoved over tree and like that sort of stuff. Whatever this is, it is not small.
when they say that it's blood, my hand drops to my horse's pack and I slide a javelin out of it.
I'm gonna step away for just a second, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
No worries.
And as you all are looking around tensely, You start hearing in the forest around you a strange sound, almost a clicking caw.
Great. Predator.
If possible, I want to ride back to the group and relay the information that I just got.
Jubei.
Basically that there's blood on the road and that we found tracks of a large creature.
I have one more quick question based off of that survival roll.
Okay.
Can I tell if bipedal or quadrupedal?
Quadrupedal.
Okay.
Important information.
Jubei.
Yes.
That noise sounds so familiar.
Oh no.
Roll a history check.
He's taking that backstory. He's pulling knives out of it. He's preparing himself.
Yeah, he's actually fought the predator, y'all.
7.
As you are kind of moving forward, that right hand holding, or left hand, excuse me, holding the scabbard, and right hand on the glaive, there's something gnawing at the back of your mind.
It's the monster. He's gnawing at the back of your mind.
Yeah, it's actually back there already.
At that moment, I will flip the glaive around and stab the blade. It's basically a naginata. Stab it into the ground. And kind of kneel and... Is this gravel on this road?
It's earth.
Okay, I'm just kind of rub it on both my hands.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gladiator.
Okay.
Okay, Spaniard.
And stand up and just kind of put both hands on the sword handle.
Okay.
And just kind of scan the forest.
I will slide my card back into my jacket and say what we're all thinking. I have a bad feeling about this.
Okay. And at that point, you hear my character say, "There is blood on the road ahead, and tracks of a large creature."
I'm looking into the woods.
And this is why I wanted someone to travel with me. Oh, Lord.
As I'm looking into the woods, speak to, I don't know his name yet, Derek.
What would you call me? That is up to you. You were the only
A horseman.
I'm sure other people noticed.
Horseman,
but
yeah.
You did see my black hands earlier, so I don't know if that would be something that you fixate on.
Yeah, but that would be an insult. Horse. Man on the horse. Who,
You would have heard Selu refer to them as both their traveling friend and as the Rodrin
Rodrin.
as
Right.
well.
but
So
he did not give me his name, and I'm not going to insult him.
That's true.
I'm just telling you other addresses that you would have heard in the other conversations, just as a reminder.
Big man.
You may call me Horodrin, or Black Hands, or Traveler, whatever you.
Well, pleasantries are will be had later. Your friend should get near us. I have a bad feeling. Looking into the woods.
They can take care of themselves.
I already said it. Look, I
That
said I had a bad
sound
feeling.
echoes again, echoing through the trees and off the rocks. That
Mist
Right.
attempts to become invisible against a tree.
Selu
Just like-
does kind of like start heading back towards the group.
And not really directed at anyone, but I'm just going to say, what is it? Does anyone know?
Selu
I
and
have-
perception check. Selu and
I have-
Rodrin.
Well, I will state I have heard it before, but I cannot place it. I do not think it's good, and I move a little bit towards Reese.
Do you think I could scare it away?
Not great for me this time. That's a 12 on my perception check. But as the sound goes again, anybody that might happen to look at Selu around that time, the sticks that they're holding, there's some carvings through them. And just for the briefest moment, they flare a whitish blue, and then it's gone.
I notice.
Gabe, did you ask me for a perception?
I did.
Oh, I rolled a 19 plus 5.
Okay.
So 24.
So, Rodrin, as you are looking around, your eyes track back to Selu, and you see another one of those imprints that was not there a moment ago. And your eyes scan up just enough to right behind Selu. This not invisible, but clearly camouflage effect of scales pokes through the bush
It is Predator.
as revealing itself.
Oh boy. It's a camouflaged owlbear.
Bear.
As revealing itself, the thing stalking you emerges. This quadrupedal reptilian creature with long tail and hooked claws steps out from the foliage behind Selu, crouched to pounce.
With
And
that,
that's where we're going to go to break.
Nice.
All right.
Well done.
Beautiful.
All right.
Exciting.
So,
Nothing like session 1. Gotta love it.
Thank you so much, those of you tuning in and checking us out. We'll be back in about 5 minutes to figure out whatever's happening here.
Oh
So
dear.
gotta pee.
Yep.
Be right back.
Yes.
And we are back.
Oh, but the screen's not. What happened to you? Come back. There you are, Astral. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Rocks fell momentarily, and we all died, but we're back now, and it's fine.
The Trask pooped on us. All right. So as Selu is looking at Hrodrin, Hrodrin's looking past Selu at this creature coming out of the woods. Very clearly stalking, hunting, crouched, and getting ready to leap. And I need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Oh,
I was
snap.
I was hoping with that perception roll that I'd get to make an attack for everybody. That's up to you.
Initiative plus.
This creature is already moving into action.
Oh no.
Bastard.
It was
no.
whether or not it got a surprise round on you.
See,
was the
and
thing.
I rolled a fucking 2.
No.
Guess what? I rolled a 1.
Whenever I'm like, man, it would be really nice to act first, I always roll poorly. Every time.
I rolled a 1 plus 1. That puts me at a sweet
So
2.
you also have a 2.
Guys, I am loving Selu's new dice here tonight, because, man, I probably just jinxed myself knocking on
Yeah,
every
now
piece
that you
of
said
wood
it.
within reach. Yeah.
I've switched dice 3 times now. I've retired 2 of my d20s, and then I rolled on the digital d20, and I rolled a 2. So done with that now.
All credit to Baller Rolling Tray.
Yeah.
I think Jubei is going to suffer from the curse that is my Minotaur Paladin in Avernus and have really, really horrible initiative rolls. Because I just
Oh
got an 8.
no!
All right.
Time to take that alert feed.
Selu, what was your initiative, please?
22.
All right. Hrodrin.
2.
All right. So Navarra will be a 2 as well. Jubei.
Something.
You're cutting out,
Wait,
Bill.
wait,
Move
wait,
your mic
check
just a
that.
smidge closer if you can. Oh, one more time.
Hello.
8?
I think I heard 8.
8 is what it sounded like.
Your mic's
Right,
doing that
looks like in chat.
thing again.
All right. I've got Reese, Hrodrin. Only person I'm missing is Mistlethar.
18.
Nicely done, sir. All right. Starting combat. Selu, you are first as you look up and see the Hrodrin looking over you and immediately feel this sense of something behind you.
A sense of
Might I bother you for a grid?
No, you may not.
Oh, okay. All right. We're measuring, folks. So here we go. All right, here we go. All right.
I'm on a grid.
Oh, gee.
Can you guys hear me better?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, much better.
That is a very suspicious 1 on the name of the creature.
Not one to pick a fight front line with things, especially things that large and dangerous looking. Selu will spend their turn moving back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over towards the Hrodrin and will ready an action to attack if something gets within range.
Okay.
Hi.
All right, yay, tech issues.
Take 2. We're back. All right. So it is Mistlethar's turn in combat.
Yes. So Mistlethar, having dropped into stealth as he hit the tree line, is going to continue to move in stealth 15 feet. 5, 10, 15. There.
Okay. Roll a stealth check for me.
Okie dokie.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. 11 plus. How do I make it scroll? 11 plus 4, 15.
Okay.
So if things are stalking us, that's probably not enough, but Mistlethar thinks he's doing a good job. And he will, oh, come on. So 30, nope. Shift. Do it. Shift. Okay. Oh man. Sorry, Selu. But almost directly at where Selu is, Mistlethar will use thaumaturgy to create a dog howl to alert everyone to look that direction.
Awesome.
And that is, let's see. Do you want me to re-hide after that?
No. No, you're
Okay.
good.
Okay. Because I can do that now at level 2 rogue. I can bonus action hide.
Yeah. Level 2. All right. Go ahead and press end turn.
Selu, as soon as they hear the dogs, just assumes that Rise is either peeing their pants or pissed off. One of the two.
All right.
Reese. Sorry, I keep saying Rise. Reese.
It's okay. Reese.
Reese.
Realizing it is blown and bursting from the foliage, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. The stalker roars towards you and then keeps going. 5, 10, 15, 15, 20, as it comes up to come in contact with the larger potential meal in front of it.
As soon as it comes within range, my held attack would
Correct.
occur. That's nat 20.
Yeah.
All right. So, as one of the fighting rods just like goes to attempt to like trip out a leg on this thing as it runs past, it finds solid purchase, and the runes on the rod momentarily flare bright again before instantly going back out. And that will be a total of +3 on that is 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Reese would be almost dead.
Well, thankfully, Sailor's not attacking you yet.
Not yet.
You haven't given me
right.
a reason to yet.
Okay, that is the end of his turn.
Oh no.
Mistlethar.
Yes.
In the brush behind you, you hear
Fuck.
as a tree
Oh no.
pulls to the side, slightly uprooting itself.
I was hiding
Revealing-
behind that tree.
Look, guys, the
Revealing
numbers have a
number
reason.
As it closes with you and attacks.
Oh,
Rot-row.
Attack number 1.
Oh no.
attack number
is-
1.
Unfortunately, is only a 9 to hit, or fortunately, rather.
Ooh.
Oh,
As-
I'm in danger.
As it as its jaws expand and come in, you imagine the jaw almost unhinging further than it should, and as it snaps and misses you and turns sideways, its tail flinging towards you. That is a 18 to hit.
That hits
All right.
by a lot.
You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as this tail smacks dead into your chest, knocking the wind out of you.
Oh, for sure.
Oof.
Like, Mistlethor lets out an audible wheeze that can be heard at anyone nearby.
Oh no.
And then it uses the rest of its movement to barrel past you to join in the meal ahead of it.
Nope.
You don't take a
Nope.
horse.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Would you like to use your reaction?
Yeah, but having, like, blown past it and the wind getting knocked out of him, he just, like, weakly pulls out this incredibly shiny dagger and goes to just, and tries to stab the thing with it.
Alright, roll to hit.
Ooh, no. A total of 10 to hit.
Does not hit. It strikes scale and just
Ugh.
skips right off this bony protrusion on its back. And that is its turn. Jubei, you are up. Reese, you're on deck.
Okay, I see what's going on in front of me real quick. Do I hear anything around me?
Make a quick perception check.
Oh, dang it. Forgot a feature. I'm a dumbass.
12.
Okay. In the heat of the moment, glancing around, listening for any more falling trees as these large creatures seem to be pressing through them, you don't see or feel any more immediate danger, but you are so focused in on what's happening ahead of you.
Look over at Reese. Are you okay? I'm gonna go help.
Oh, I'll be fine.
Alright, and I move 30 feet. right here, which should be enough to engage with to get side by side. As I'm running, very focused, I draw my katana or sword and attack stalker number 2.
All right. What does it look like as the first time you're revealing your blade? What sort of form do you fall into?
Since it's a non-formal opponent, it's greatly just coming down with the blade, testing it.
Awesome.
And that's a 6 to hit.
Again, striking the hard scaled exterior, and it strikes right off of it, and up close and personal. Now you know why these things were familiar. There are creatures from the forests back home that remind you very, very much of these.
Sword glances off the armor. As the sword comes down, he flips it around, ready to come up with the next attack.
Nice.
Awesome. Any bonus actions from you, sir?
Let's see, what bonus actions can I do? No, I'm good. I'm a fighter.
All right. Go ahead and hit end turn, and Reese, you are up. Rodrin, you're on deck.
Reese is panicking and will slip his hand into his robe and pull out his mask. Since everyone ran forward to fight, he's like perfect and slides his mask on and immediately straightens himself up. Seeing that I'm kind of hidden back here, I'm going to leap on top of our cart real quick. And I am going to take my 2 fingers and draw that sigil in the air and then launch the twin bolts of white and black energy that shoot forward. And I'm going to Eldritch Blast, Stalker number 2.
All right.
Eldritch Blast.
Oh, that's an 11 hit.
An 11 does not hit. The
Guys,
energy
Selu cannot be the only one to hit something.
the adrenaline and, quite honestly, for Reese, fear of the moment are just overwhelming, and your hand comes around, and the thing you swear just looked at you, and it comes back up and just off.
I kind of like steel myself, and then I will bring my hand up and like blow into it really quickly, and those blue fireflies shoot out of it and fly towards Mistlethar, and they land on you, and you get some healing, brother.
All right.
The best butterflies.
9 hit points.
Oh, shit. Back up to 4.
And
That's a lot of healing for level 2.
All right, Rodrin, you are up.
Okay.
Reese, if you
So-
don't mind hitting end turn for me.
Oh, yeah.
For half of my movement, I'm going to dismount, and I want to dismount here. It says it's horse's turn on the top of my screen.
Get him, horse!
But horse.
Oh my god.
No one else knows her name.
The freaking
that's
bad
fair.
horse theme just started rolling through my
That
head.
horse, that
The
horse,
horse.
that horse.
Thoroughbred of sin.
He's riding on a horse with no name.
Accurate.
Exactly.
No,
Accurate.
she has a name, you just don't know it. Okay, so I dismount for half my movement. Gabe, I said earlier that I drew my javelin. Can I switch as like a free action, or what's that going to look like?
So you can just drop the javelin
And draw
and draw as a part of an attack.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so wait. If I'm on my horse, can I dismount here?
Sure.
Okay, great. Then I do that. I drop my javelin. I pull out my my halberd, and I would like to rage.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Can I do the thing?
Yeah, do the thing.
Okay.
Do the thing.
Doing
Get
the
mad.
thing.
I rolled
It's an angry thing.
a 4. Okay. So as I enter rage, you guys, depending on where you're at, you would see those tattoos that I spoke about earlier. You would see one of them start to glow in this like soft blue light, and if you're close enough, you would see that it is in the shape of a spear. And then I don't know if you want to describe anything else that's happening there, Gabe.
So this soft glow emanating from around Hrodrin's shoulder, that exposed shoulder. And as the glaive comes out and comes down, you swear for just the briefest of moments that the weapon shimmers and almost changes, and then it's gone.
So I do like a really fancy dismount, and like as I'm coming down, I'm dropping the javelin, drawing my halberd, and bringing it down with all of my momentum. And
Awesome.
I'm going to give it an attack here. Mother, that was a 14, and then it rolled over to a 4, so it's a 9 total.
Okay.
That blows.
The stalker.
You know what? Hey, I'm gonna spend my inspiration.
Awesome.
Let's try that again. A 12?
The stalker looks up, and as your legs clear over the back of your horse and it shifts to the side, you just barely miss.
And my halberd crashes to the ground. Okay. And then Navarra is going to take the disengage action.
Smart horse.
Smart horse, smart horse. We just watched that the other day. That's perfect.
I watched it not terribly long ago. I had a chance to get Emily to sit down and watch it with me. She had never seen it before,
so good.
All right.
That was movement, bonus action, and Navarre's turn as well. So I'm good.
Mystic starts backing up, trying to push the cart backwards as this combat, this danger is happening ahead. Reese, because you chose to jump up on the back of the rickety cart, please roll an acrobatics or athletics as you are trying to stay stationary on it.
I rolled a 3.
Okay.
Steer into the skid.
Yeah. So as you are trying to hold yourself on there, you are real sketchy. And there is a strong likelihood that you're coming off.
Ah, jeez.
And Telfin's wagon, the horses with their blinders on, looking straight at these things, start doing the same. As they start backing into Mystic. As, of course, with a larger wagon, axled and hinged, it's starting to turn and move as these horses are beginning to panic. The next round, Selu, you are up. Mistlethar, you are on deck.
For the record, as Navarre is running away, she's not panicked. She's like,
oh, yeah.
She's a war horse, so she's very calmly knows that this is time to withdraw.
Chill.
Nope. All right, so
calmly noping.
So as this is let's see. So Selu is going to just continue to attack the one that they were already on. So coming back down with the fighting sticks, attempting to find weak points, looking for joints and things of that nature. That will be a 19 to hit on the first attack.
Which one are you attacking?
The same one I did before. Stalker
Number 1.
Yeah.
All right. 19 hits.
And because I forgot to do this last time, I will designate this as a favored foe.
Okay.
That will be 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Gotcha.
And as a bonus action, I will follow through with the second attack.
Gotcha.
That rare second attack.
First time in 5e playing a 2-weapon fighting character. So that will be a 22 to hit.
22 will definitely hit.
This one does not get my favorite, or does it get my favorite foe? I think it's only
the first attack, I believe.
Probably.
First time on each of your turns, yeah. So then that one will just be 7 points of damage. Okay. And with each strike, as they're finding joints to focus on. They look quite practiced in using what look to be simple wooden rods to accomplish quite a bit. Oof. But they will end their turn there and not go anywhere else. They will continue to sit there and try and beat down these things. That's it.
All right, go ahead and hit and turn. Mistlethar, you are up.
All right. Mistlethar, having his cover blown, is going to sprint across this opening 30 feet, drop his dagger next to his boot, and then pull out his short bow and take a shot at Stalker 1.
Okay.
Which is a 14 to hit.
A 14 just hits.
Woohoo! All right. And then so it's sneak attacks 1d6, so it's 2d6 damage. So that is a 5 and a 1 plus 2, so 8 points of damage as a arrow streaks out into Stalker 1.
All right.
And I will bonus action to kind of duck down to where I dropped my dagger and try to hide behind these bushes.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me. Up next are the Stalkers and then Jubei.
That is an 11. And I end my turn.
Okay. The first Stalker, as it dodged out of the way of the Hrodran as he leapt off its horse, the tail lashes out at you. A 16 to hit. Derek?
Does it have reach?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, you hit me.
All right. You take a total of 6 bludgeoning damage, halved to 3.
Thank you.
And then it will attempt to bite into its original quarry, Selu, attempting to recover this now somewhat difficult meal.
And this is where things go very poorly for Selu.
18 on the die.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh.
And a 1 on the damage die for 4 points of piercing damage as the mouth comes out and latches down onto your shoulder briefly before tearing away.
That I will definitely take.
And then it will use its bonus action to disengage.
Oh no.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And that is its turn. Stalker number 2, absent its packmate, will turn towards the warrior that swung the blade down at it and attempt to bite Jubei. 14 total.
That's not it.
All right. The teeth lash out and just deftly dodging to the side. And as it's thrashing about, its tail comes around at Jubei as well. Again, a 15 total, excuse me. Okay, so dodging deftly, that practiced no mind, just the sword, just the moment. And that is it for bonus action to disengage. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. As it's going to try to go after the horses, it seems.
The fuck it is!
And that is its turn. Jubei, you are up. Reese, you are on deck.
Oh no.
Reaction as it moves past me, attack of opportunity.
No, because it used its
disengaged.
bonus action to disengage from you.
It's
Okay,
a little
your mic must have cut out for me because I couldn't hear that
Gotcha.
part. Okay, so alright, then definitely moving here to beside Mystic. And I will take another swing at still holding the sword low. I'm gonna run in. As it's running, I run along beside it. As it stops, I'm gonna bring it up to the lower end of its neck. So that's a 17 to hit with maximum damage.
Definitely
14
hits. Awesome.
Nice.
The sword finding purchase on the bottom side of its neck, it yelps and pulling away.
It's so pretty, and I'm now second level action surge.
Do it.
And as the sword comes up, flip the blade and bring it right back down on the back of its neck.
Awesome.
For a 10 to hit.
That bony, scaled hide down its back catches the blade as it goes off, just barely missing a soft spot.
Forgot to flip it around that time. Tried to Rurouni Kenshin that shit.
Yeah, man. Bonus action from Jubei. Reese, you are on deck. Bonus action from Jubei.
Your mic is being weird again, bud.
Yeah.
Nope, you're cut out, man.
Okay.
He's
there.
done. It sounds like he's done.
All right.
He doesn't have any bonus actions, yeah.
All right, Reese, you are up. Hodron, you're on deck.
Stalker number 2 looks real bad, right? Now that it's been gutted.
It looks like it's been cut.
It's been cut.
You are
I am gonna leap from the wagon.
okay. So as this wagon is moving underneath you, go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
Please do better. Okay, good. 15.
Okay,
There
you
we
managed
go.
to not fall prone and land on your feet.
I will tell Mystic telepathically, and easy now, don't worry, it'll be fine. We've got this, without any of the accent. And then I will see this thing bearing down on the other horses and get low to the ground. And last time he had his staff, this time, and he drew it as a bow. This time he's going to swing it over his head and slam it, and a shockwave of light shoots out of the ground. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at this one.
Nice.
Real quick,
Oh,
mic
yes.
check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Better?
that is
Mhm.
a 18 plus
18.
5.
18 definitely hits.
Oh man, so many dice. Not bad.
Guiding Bolt's such a good spell. So
21 radiant damage.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
Please describe.
Yes,
And
sir.
so this time he slams the staff down and it hits the ground, nothing happens. And then light bursts up out of the ground like fissures towards it and then just erupts out of the ground like a geyser
Sweet.
and sears its flesh from underneath.
Nice.
What color?
It's just pure white.
Wicked.
It's
Awesome.
Moon-colored. Moon-colored.
Moon color.
So blue.
Right? A cool.
It's a blue
luminescent blue.
white.
All right. Anything
I
else
will
from you, sir?
then. Does Mystic look like she's slowing down at all?
Hard to say in the heat of
I'm
combat.
gonna stay nearby, and oh man, I don't know if I can reach him. I just saw Selu get wrecked.
Selu took a nip, but Selu's looking okay.
You are 60
Okay.
feet away from Selu.
Yeah, that's exactly the range. That'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. Go ahead and hit end turn. Hodron and Navarro.
Cool.
Horse.
Horse. Remind me, Patrick, does Guiding Bolt give advantage or anything like that?
Yes, it is
Okay.
lit up.
That's what I thought. Okay, so we'll start with Navarro here. She is going to move back and kind of sense that Mystic is beginning to panic. And so she's going to go back there. She's going to take the dodge action, but she's going to kind of try to get Mystic to calm down with her presence for whatever that's.
Noted.
Okay. And then I I think I gotta go for the stalker, the closest one here. 5, 10, 15. So I take off at a sprint, and then as I get within striking distance with my glaive with like the superior reach, I like basically spin through the attack, and I come all the way around to get full momentum on this strike.
Awesome.
We'll see how this goes. And I already have advantage. I'm guiding.
Sure do.
Hell yeah. Okay, that's a what was that? It was a 19 plus 5, so 24.
Nice.
That will definitely hit, sir.
Cool. So that is 11 for damage, but did that include my... I don't know if that included my rage. I don't think it did, so it's 13.
Okay. I can math, I swear.
Yeah, if you're using D&D Beyond, it does not do a good job of calculating rage. You got to remember to add it yourself.
Yeah,
There's a button in the D&D Beyond 20 extension that allows you to add rage damage.
Oh, cool. Let me
Nice.
go find that.
Noted.
I found that
Anything else? Bonus action from Rodrin?
I have no bonus action. No, I'm good.
All right.
No
go
bonus
ahead.
actions, only rage.
No action, only rage. Go ahead and click end for me.
Yes.
Mystic sensing horse, his presence seems to calm down a little bit, and let's see if Telfin can get a hold of his team. Okay, natural 20 for his animal handling, with a quick crack of the reins and a twist. Telfin begins to move his team out of the way. We're latching on to, there we go, away from the stalker, which is going to try to take a swing and will hit, unfortunately.
No, the horses.
Doing 4 points of damage. So one of the horses takes a gash up its shoulder, but manages with the focus and drive and handling of Telfin to get out of the way. That is the end of Telfin's turn. Selu, you are up to the top of the round with Mistlethar on deck.
Okay, so between Stalker 1 and Stalker 2, how are they looking at this point?
So
the other one has barely been hit, I think.
In the flurry of combat, trying to keep track of it, this explosion of light and cleave of both Jubei's upswing and the Hrodrin's downswing, the Stalker number 2 looks to be having a really bad day at this point. It picked a meal that bites back. Stalker number 1 looked wounded, but last you saw it, as it started to bound away, was not nearly as in bad of a shape as this one that your allies are working on.
Does it look like it's running, like it's trying to get away?
Looks
Stalker
more like
1?
it's circling around.
Okay.
Like, very clearly, it is not leaving the fray.
Okay. Well, having watched everybody else blow up on Stalker 2, Selu's just gonna keep on who they've been on. So they will
Oh, you crazy!
they will run forward and make 2 more attacks on Stalker 1.
Awesome.
First attack is 18 to hit,
18 definitely hits.
and with favored foe, that is 10 points of damage.
Okay.
I swear to God, with these dice tonight, that's another nat 20.
These are.
Yes.
This was a good purchase, man. These are good dice.
Good night. I promise I like rolled them a lot of times beforehand that they're just being really nice to me tonight.
You got the juju out.
Man, that is garbage on that damage roll. My crit just hit for less than the other. That is 7 points of damage on the crit.
Okay.
And that's
Selu.
movement action, bonus action. Yep.
How would you like to do this for Stalker number 1?
Oh.
Very nice.
So as this thing is like climbing back into like the rocks and the trees and starting to stalk around, Selu will just sprint towards this thing, and momentary like wisps of wind follow behind a series of strikes as they just like dip up around a tree trunk and then just like whop whop to the side of the head, and this thing just crumbles.
As your clubs strike it and the slight fusion of energy from them, you just watch its eyes glaze and crumbles. This heavy, multiple several hundred, pound mass just goo, 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 goo.
And as soon as it drops, they'll use their last 5 feet of movement to head back that way, and that will be the end of their turn.
I wanted to narrate something really quick because I forgot to narrate it, and it's kind of like a Chekhov's gun. But the guiding bolt that hit when Rodrin's axe came down, the energy that like it absorbed kind of magnetically pulled his axe in, as if it was invested
nice.
in like bringing it to the home.
I dig that.
Very
Love
cool.
it. We'll remember to put that in next time.
Heck yeah.
Mistlethar.
Right. So Mistlethar would start off with seeing Selu run up towards that other one. Yes, I am with. Never mind, you don't need me. And we'll turn around and draw a bow at Stalker 2 instead.
Okay.
Which is a 17 on the die.
17 hits.
So that's another 26. And that's a G spot and a 4 plus 2, so 16 total damage.
Nice.
Hey.
Very nice.
How does that arrow solve us of this dilemma, sir?
So Mistlethar, seeing all the thematics of what's going on, and blinding lights and slashing blades, you see like the performance aspects start to come out again. He stands up real straight with his posture and draws this bow back, like you would see in a painting, and lets loose and catches this thing directly in the back of its head, in between scales, to where the arrow pops out its eye.
Oh,
And it is
brutal.
Awesome.
I can do things like that too. And he tucks his bow back because he can't do anything nearly as flashy as what you all did.
All right. As the pounding of blood in your ears, the thrum of adrenaline begins to fade. There don't appear to be any more stalkers in your immediate vicinity. Looking around, looking through the woods, waiting, listening for a crunch, an echo, a chirp, anything.
Click.
Nothing.
Reese will stand super tall and start walking forward and slam his staff down, and the tip of it just boom lights up with the light spell, like it's like a spotlight.
Awesome.
Seeing like that happen, Selu just like stops dead in their tracks. How interesting.
He did
Is
start the
ever
fight as
is
well.
everyone all right?
What were you saying, Derek? Sorry.
I was just reacting to Selu saying like that was interesting. I said he did this during the fight.
I was a little preoccupied. Regardless, you seem to have control of whatever it is that you're doing.
This is be the first time that you guys will have like take a moment, and so Reese wears this white, like it looks like porcelain, but it's like a wood washed with white paint, with a crescent moon shape onto it, and it's just got the two slits for eyes. So there's no defining features. It's just like very smooth mask that he wears like when he does his magic. And you can see he doesn't look like the meager like peasant anymore. He's standing tall and like firm, and like he's not regal like the others, but he's like imperious. And he's like definitely scanning the trees, looking for these things.
And Jubei, you were saying something.
Flipped the blood off his sword and sheathed it while looking at the drake and just kind of bows a little bit. Go back to the darkness from whence you come.
Mist has.
I will just turn and make sure everyone's okay.
Mist has picked up his dagger that he dropped, and even though it did not stab anything, the finery of his clothes, he seems to like pale in comparison as he wipes his dagger casually against them to clean it. And he like walks up to Reese and says, "Ah, you did it again! The fireflies were delicious. They made me feel so much better. The light in the ground, it was boom, and then he sees entirely. I think it was you are wonderful." And just claps you on the back again.
Excuse me. I certainly picked the right people to travel with this afternoon. My gods.
I'm breathing heavily, and I take a couple deep breaths, and then you'd probably see my eyes. They were kind of like, I don't know. They had this kind of like milky, like film over them, and it kind of fades, and then you just see the dark brown that they were before. And my chest stops glowing as well as my rage fades.
Is anyone else hurt?
I took like 3 points. I'm not.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna worry about it.
As soon as he says "my gods," Mist responds with, "I don't believe in those," just very casually, and goes on to celebrating Reese.
Thank you, friend. You
Rage
did good.
Fates would be a good band name.
Rage Face.
Well, that was colorful and bright and incredibly skilled, the lot of you.
Yes, Jubei, the way you boom, boom, it was just so boom, and like just going off again.
Yeah. Yes.
Reese.
A lot with the booms.
Yes, the booms. What did you do? I felt when I swung my axe, I felt a force draw my blade in.
Well, and like you see him like pull his mask off and immediately start to like stumble with his words. It's a bit difficult to explain, but I guess it's magic.
Do not guess about it. It is magic. You know magic. I know magic. Yes, it is magic.
At this point, you see Telfin hop down off of his wagon, and he's going over to his horse that was attacked by the stalker, and is inspecting the wound and trying to hold bandages up onto it.
A pin in that, please. Magic, right? And Selu takes off with the horse and like pulls out pouches and whatnot, and it starts like what they did with the Herodrin previously. Like mortar pestle, starts working it into like an herbal salve and whatnot, and would like to make a medicine check to try and staunch the bleeding on the horse.
Reese is gonna walk up and notice this happening, and he's gonna want to like subtly start helping, but like just not making any like words, just like maybe offering like an herb or like pointing to something and indicating things.
Bay's just gonna walk over to Mystic at the talk of magic and be like, "Are you all right?"
I am
Are
fantastic.
you very intentionally uncomfortable with the conversation? Pardon?
Kind of.
Okay.
He will just he does not make it known. He does not want to appear rude, so he will just depart from the conversation.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Selu, what was that medicine check?
19 on the die, so 22.
Lovely.
Dang.
You are able to staunch the bleeding and apply a salve over the course of a few moments.
Taking a few broad leaves and whatnot, I'd like wrap and place it over that. Look back at Reese. Do you have a tie of some sort?
I'll reach into my like healer's kit and pull out like crappy linen, like gauze. Here.
Thank you, and I'll finish off. You seem to know what you're doing with herbs as well. I've learned a little, but
I know a fair bit more about that than magic.
fair enough. I'm afraid I know less about magic than I do the herbs.
Perhaps another time. Our friend Jubei doesn't like to speak about it.
Noted.
That's lovely and all. I don't think she's, and reaches up and pats the horse, going too much farther today. Perhaps we find a clearing of some sort and call it a day.
Yes,
So-
perhaps a bit further on the path.
I agree.
Before we depart, I kind of walk over, like kind of near the middle of everybody, and I like pat Navara, and I turn to you, and I say, I would like to request the honor of your names, and give mine. And I'm kind of like looking down, kind of like not sure.
It's wonderful. I am Sir Mistletoe, Free Knight of Iona, and her queen of... yeah, like, does not care about your social graces. Just...
That's fine.
Reese awkwardly is going to try to like give some kind of formal bow, like what Jubei would do. I am simply Reese. That's at your service.
I repeat it. I'm like, Reese.
It's just Reese.
Reese.
It'll. No worries.
I've introduced myself before, but from where I am, I will turn and bow and just loudly proclaim, Jubei Sojin, and turn back to the horse.
I thank you for this honor. My name is Kai Ajurai, Narunzan, and this is Nevara. I consider you all well met.
Oh, thank Ravamel, I can actually call you Kai around other people now. Ah, that makes life so much easier. You realize that? I understand. I do. But it does make life easier.
I will admit, this is strange.
Indeed, I've not met one of the people before, which is what I assume based on your words.
Yes.
This
Among us, names hold power. Do not
So
trust
I-
everybody with them.
So I have heard. In the meantime, I apologize. I'm very keen on getting down the road a bit. However, we should not leave without the pearls. It would be unwise.
Ooh, are they inside of these creatures?
These are. I do not. Jubei. As soon as he says the pearls, it instantly connects in your mind what these creatures are. They are referred to as Drake kin. They are often domesticated and used as mounts for the Drusen Ra or the Drusillan himself.
These were wild, of course, right?
These were feral. But when they say the pearls, you know, like, duh, you remember this, that there are often, not always, but often in their spine and one of their vertebrae, there are these bony, pearlescent spheres that are gorgeous and worth a lot of money to the right people. They're a symbol of status and elevation where you come from. There are pearls in their bodies somewhere, usually anyway.
Along the spine. I say out loud.
Check! And I just rush towards Stalker 2 and start.
How very
He deserves it.
very interesting. And like as though just like ADD moment, Selu is like, oh wait, new thing, cool, and like grabs hunting knife and heads for the one that they dropped.
I'm glad we can at least share our ADD and new interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'd suppose that they deserve it. They're the ones that took him down.
Would you care, looking at Reese and Jubei, would you care to perhaps travel a bit down the road with me to get the horses and teams away from this?
We can do that.
Well,
And
agree,
I
I'll
will.
nod.
Come on, Mystic.
I'll join them too.
Okay. So Reese, Jubei, and Kai, traveling a little further down the road, you are able to find your way to a clearing off the beaten path, up against a rock face, very sheltered and large enough for a wagon to pull into, wagon and a cart. That's sheltered with an overhang of stone, so that there's no issues of rain or fire. Selu and Mist. Need a survival check from each of you, please.
Oh no. Man.
There it is, guys. There it is.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
the total would still be an 8 if you care about the total, but definitely an at one.
14 flat.
Okay. Selu, as you are carving around, Jubei said it was along the spine, but that's this is a whole foreign creature to you. And you find yourself kind of obsessed with studying its scales and how they're almost like the ones along its spine are more bony than they are like smooth and scale textured. Mist, roll a d8 for me.
I didn't have one of those out. I'll have to find one. There's one. 3!
Okay. Carving around the base of the neck, you find a bony pocket almost, and leveraging it open and pulling, digging your hand down in the muck and pulling out this 8-inch sphere comes out of its back and brushing the viscera away. You recover a purple and silver pearlescent colored drakekin pearl.
As I'm like riding past Selu, can I see that they're struggling?
Make a perception check for me. As you all were continuing on.
It's an 11.
Sure. So you are able to see that Selu's kind of getting distracted a little bit.
Would you like some help, friend?
There's so much to look at here. Have you ever seen one of these before? And just like has taken to like peeling away scales, like looking at claws and teeth and everything but the pearl. Has actually started taking to like removing like a larger scale somewhere, probably taking a fang and a claw.
Perhaps you would like my help?
I mean, there's more than enough here for you to look at as well. There's lots to look at.
So I'll being a little more focused. I'll start looking along the area of the spine for that.
Roll a survival check for me.
Sure. Here we go. God damn! I have the exact opposite of Jacob's dice. I rolled an 8.
Okay. You are feeling along the spine, even digging your hands into the spine. It's hard to tell what's what. These vertebrae are 8 to 10 inches wide. You're just having a hard time finding anything that is particularly spherical.
Maybe this one doesn't have one. As they just continue, like, chop, off comes a toe. Like,
I think Jubei lied. They are an odd lot. Jubei!
At this point, they're down the road.
Didn't Telfin say that not all of them have it? Maybe this one's just a dud.
I think it's more likely that we are incompetent.
Have they had enough time for me to finish with the one I was working on at this point? So I would walk over with this 8-inch sphere. This is beautiful. Where is yours? It must. Why do you not have one?
This one doesn't have one. But but look at these, and holds up a tooth and a claw and a plate of a scale and
I do recall my days of simple taste, and I pat you on the shoulder and walk past you, and attempt to imitate on this one exactly the same as where I found the one in the other one.
Okay, so the DC is just getting higher, but
oh no! Okay,
feel free to try.
Why?
You're just butchering.
We're cutting pieces off. There's less of it.
Are you kidding? I've already broken this thing into 3 different pieces at this point with the massacre I've put this thing through.
So mechanically speaking, you are also trying not to ruin any potential pearl that is in there.
Crack it.
Okay. Yeah. The hope was that I've done it once, so it might be easy for me to replicate, but we'll see.
But we're just throwing one character after another at this. So the DC
you're right.
is just getting higher.
Yep.
Okay.
Survival's my thing. I have a fucking +5.
I know.
Man, I got a +7. Survival is literally my thing.
Survival is absolutely not my thing. I have a +0. But I rolled the exact same thing, a 14.
Okay. Unfortunately, as you dig into it, you discover that chamber where you should find something is partially collapsed. And there's something in it, but it feels, as you stick your fingers in there, it feels broken.
It seems yours was not good enough, and I just casually walked off.
I told you this one was a dud, and Selu follows along, looking at the scales and.
Okay, so you guys are there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
At this point, Jubei and Reese, you have found this campsite up under a rocky outcropping along the road, and are able to set up camp fairly easily.
I will go ahead and take care of Mystic and unhook her and ease her down and let her graze, and then I will flip out of the wagon the iron pot that I have and hand it to Jubei, and then I will walk out of the camp to go look for herbs and other things.
I thought we agreed that was a cast iron skillet.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Iron skillet.
I will start constructing the fire and building it and light it the traditional Dragonborn way because I haven't used it today. So I'll kneel and place both hands on my knees and column of fire out the campfire for the night using my breath weapon.
Yeah.
Telfin seems kind of quiet at this point. He's watching you, not nefariously or scrupulously, but just watching you as you go about your ritual.
I'll tend to the fire and look around and find 3 large rocks as the fires are going and kind of build a little triangle big enough to set the pan on top of the fire in the middle and work those into the fire. As the fire burns down the coals, I'll go to the back of the wagon where Mystic is, and I'll open up the pork barrel and I'll look and start counting. Okay, 6. And I'll pull out like 2 pork bellies and take them and start preparing them. And I start taking my knife and working them into hash marks onto the skin side of the pork bellies and lay them out. And start taking a rag that I have and start putting berries in it and start crushing it and working it into a paste.
I imagine I would bring back more of the berries and like herbs and stuff.
We haven't gotten to you yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have you roll for it. So go ahead and roll survival
Okay.
and hang on to it.
Oh,
Also,
geez.
we also have all the mushrooms that we found.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I ate before we started playing, and I'm still hungry again.
Right?
Right.
Um,
I've been looking forward to this all night. So
I'm going to start coating the pan in oil and getting it hot as the coals build up, and throw some wild onions, some wild mushrooms in there, and then just start laying the pork bellies on there, and start crisping the outsides and everything, and cooking them all the way through. And then you'll see Jubei start taking a rock, and he works it to the side of the fire, and he'll take that paste of berries and put it on the rock and start working it with his knife as it starts jamming up with the heat building onto the rock. And hopefully by the time you guys are done with the drakes, you come back to this pan of just seared pork belly with mushrooms and onions and a wild berry crusted jam smeared on top of them.
while you are cooking, Telfin goes into the back of his wagon and brings out a basket. I have these, if they're anything. They're a day or two old, but pulls out a handful of rolls that, on squeezing them, they're not that far off. A couple of days out for sure, but
I smile at him and say, "I can fix these. Do you have a pot with a lid?"
I do, yes. Then he goes back and retrieves it.
I put a little layer of water on the bottom and put the pot into the fire until the water starts steaming. And I put the rolls, I stack them up inside and put the lid on top with a little catch where the steam comes up, and the steam should refresh the bread.
Yep.
Steam it.
And make steam buns out of the rolls. And I will use my chef feet to cook. I can cook up to a meal up to 6 people, and we're right at my limit with the NPC. So, at the end of your short rest, any creature who eats the food, let's see, 1 hour. It takes 1 hour of work. When you finish a long rest, you can cook a number of trees equal to that's the wrong one. Okay, I'll come back. I prepare for these guys.
Awesome. And as you are arriving, Reese coming back as you took a moment to yourself in the woods, looking up as the sun begins to peek through, or the moon begins to peek through in the distance. Taking that moment of peace and trying to rummage around and don't really find anything to contribute. Right? You rolled pretty low, correct?
I rolled really high. I got a natural 20 plus 5, so 25.
Oh, excuse me, I totally misheard you. So as you're rummaging around, you manage to find some truffles and an actual bush where there are these nuts growing from it. that are on first scent and grinding them up in your hands, very, very sweet and tasty.
Oh boy.
So able to bring those back. Additionally, while you're out, you are able to find a stash of medicinal herbs to replenish any losses from your kit.
Awesome.
Nice.
Sweet nuts.
That's right. So as the four of you return to this beautifully crafted meal that Juve has prepared, Telfin is there pulling a small barrel out of the back of the wagon. About pony keg size, one might say. I think you'll have most assuredly earned this, and if smelling this as it's been cooking is any indication, I think he's earned it too.
So he didn't earn it before he cooked. But now he's earning it.
It has been earned twice. Podden reaches back in and pulls out this case. Flipping the case open, it is half a dozen tin glasses and these cheaply made tin camping plates and silverware, and begins sharing it with everyone. I feel like a little hospitality is in order.
I look at Selu and I say, "Is this like the drink we have at the inn?"
I really hope not. What was it that we had there? Was it? Is it
Ale?
It was ale. Is that what this is as well?
No, no. This is mead, actually.
Oh,
made from honey.
We have this in the plains.
No, not had anything like this before. And he pours it out, and Mist, you will recognize this. So react as you will. He pours it out, and in the campfire light, it's black. It is this ashy, blackened color, but crystal clear. And he hands each of you a tin, and looking at it in the light, no shit, the liquid's actually black. And it smells sweet.
That's what I was going to ask. What does it smell like?
It smells very, very sweet.
No, I do the equivalent of when you turn the flashlight on your phone on to check it. Like I cast light to check the color.
It is like warm in your belly, like a little piece of volcano itself. And I just start sipping.
So what color is the mead of that I'm used to?
Honey colored.
Like classic, yeah.
Golden.
I take a whiff with my snout and bow to thank him and offer my glass to Mist.
Delightful 2 glasses for me. I warm myself doubly. Enough for both of us.
After I've partaken in some of the food, I will stab my glaive into the edge of the firelight and walk off and find a tree and kneel down, ritualistically laying my sword on my knees and closing my eyes and just breathing and taking in the smell of the smoke, the smell of my companions, the horses, and just the wildflowers and everything around me for like an hour.
Cool.
Awesome.
I swirl the liquid and then I'll take a sip.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah.
Is it delicious?
Selu, do you drink it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right.
Like after smelling it and smelling the sweetness, like it's much more excited than that terrible ale business that they had last time.
It was okay.
Terrible.
On first sip, the Cinderful mead, if somebody had taken the ash of a campfire and boiled it down, like on first taste, you're like, what?
Why?
There's this hint of like almost ashen sulfur that dissolves instantly. And this sweet honey and rosemary and salt come through in the flavor. and it is incredibly refreshing. It's not nearly as strong as the homebrew stuff you guys drank last session, but it's pretty stout nonetheless. But you were offered small glasses of it.
After the initial taste and like it hitting that refreshing point, Selu just like downs the whole thing and is like, just like holds the glass back and like, oh my, that's so good. Can I have just a bit more, please?
Friend, slow down. You're supposed to savor it. This is good. This is worthy of the Lena herself.
That's a second one for you to sip on, and I give you Jubes instead.
Takes it and like instantly starts drinking again.
And having a hand free, I will produce the pearl and hand it to Reese. This is another thing of value, and since you do not have very many of them, you should probably have these more than I do.
Low-key roast.
Reese will take it.
It sparkles more like your magic than mine.
That is fair.
May I see that?
Sure.
Takes it, kind of looks at it in the campfire light, takes out his looking glass and looks into it a little bit. It's a good find. Your scaled friend will be able to tell you in certain circles these are worth quite a penny.
Tell me more about those creatures. Are these normal around these parts?
I've never seen anything like that before.
Nor I.
Normal's not necessarily an apt descriptor, but they're around. Tend to live near warmer climes. As we are so far south, these probably found a spring nearby. There are hot springs throughout the cliffside where we're going in Schema, but there are occasional pockets here and there of warmer climates. I hear there's a forest to the south that is full of them that should be snowed over throughout the year, but there are these lush green pockets warmed by geothermal activity.
If we are in any hurry at all, I strongly recommend not mentioning these once Jubei comes back. He will want to see all of them, and we will be here forever.
I'm just imagining the smirk on Jubei's face right now.
But these creatures, are they hunt in pack?
Ones and twos. Occasionally, if there's a breeding pair, there will be more. But I don't know too much about them. These appear to be stalkers of some kind. They nearly disappeared in the brush. It was hard to keep track of them.
Yes.
Right, was.
They are Drakekin, I believe, is what they're called. Draken.
Like setting the cup down, Selu like unslings their pack and pulls out a large leather-bound, leather-wrapped object from their backpack and unfurls it to show a large book with wood slats on each end and a loose like self-binded end, and random like tufts of feathers and fur and thing are poking out here and there. It looks like a freaking hot mess, but then like as Telfin like describes and gives a like Drakekin, they turn it open and like there's very clearly a section on like animals and beasts, and they flip to a specific page and put in a new entry and like pull out the scales and tooth and claw that they had, and like begins like writing things down on all of this, regularly going back to the cup and continuing to drink. Just kind of like taking in all of the information from this.
As I said, I don't know too much about them. domesticated in one way, shape, or form amongst the Drusen nobility. But I imagine that's a status thing as well.
They can be domesticated? Perhaps there are babies. We could find some. Don't tell Jubei. He will go looking.
Let's not do that. That sounds dangerous.
From what I understand, it has a lot to do with being there when they are born. But again, I didn't spend much time.
Don't give him any ideas, please.
In his lands.
It is like the poultry at court. The little ducklings. They follow the first theme.
Yes, I suppose. Well, it's been a long day. Far more stressful day than I had intended. I think I'm going to get some sleep. Can you all keep an eye out over the night?
I think we can handle that.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
And as he turns around, Selu points at the little pony kegs. Leave that.
That is yours, but that is legitimately all I can spare.
Perhaps we don't drink it all right now.
Would be my recommendation. Another day or maybe.
What did you say? All I heard is drink it right now.
As soon as Kai says this, like there's like the sip at the end of the cup, and Selu like stands up to go refill it again.
That we have at least one more day out here. Let's be. I'm going to bed. And hoping I wake up.
Fine.
Yeah, that's the one.
Like agitatedly, like clanks the cup down on top of that and just sits back down. So looking at Reese and Mist, you've mentioned the magic that you know and the magic that you know, and I'm just sitting here going, you know magic. So let's talk about that, shall we?
I don't believe there's too much to talk about. I mean, look at me. And I just gestured to my blue and horns.
He'd be right.
Does
I will
having
admit, he pretty much is magic.
Selu seems to be like just believing everything about this, and it's just like, what? You are magic? I mean, I've admittedly not met someone that looks quite like you, but I hadn't met one that looks like him either, and points to Telfin as they're walking off to go to bed. Like, what?
Well, to be fair, I've never met anyone like you or like him, and I point to Kai.
Well, I've met lots of people like me, but not anyone that I know that can do magic.
So, I don't normally get to ask this question so much, but what are you? I'm looking at Mistletoe.
Are orcs and elves, would they be common in traveling along the coast, or?
Half orcs and half elves, and the occasional full blood. Yeah, you would have run across them. Jubei would be an oddity, but not as much as you are.
Okay.
Reese is only an oddity in the party.
And an orc and an elf, or half orc or half elf, whatever pieces of things.
I believe.
Delightful. I am a full of me, and I don't know what that is.
I'm an elf of the Terrandine. I don't imagine too many of my people travel around very much.
What is a Terrandine?
This is why I say, what is Terrandine?
The elves of the Terran Forest.
That's
that
and
is.
you see Mist pull out a notebook, and it has the most crudely drawn map
So
on it.
as soon as you do that, Selu flips back to a different part in the book and opens it up to where they sketched out the map that they had copied from the town that we stopped at, and points along of like where the road is at. It's actually a pretty decent like rendition of it. I mean, for a quick sketch, they're not a cartographer, but you know they did reasonably well enough. And like points out the like road and path leading in, and then leads back, and like back over here is where you would find the Terran Forest.
Is there a key on your map?
A key?
So like north, south, east, west, rows?
Probably not, but Selu would be able to like point out to you what north, south, east, west was if you were.
So without any orienteering or orientation, since the like shipwreck kind of going to port on the coast, this is a very accurate, almost as if he is trained as a cartographer style map, but there is no sense of north, south, east, west on it. It is just lines based on what he has seen, because he has no idea outside of the route that he is normally traded on.
It's a very bad good map.
Yeah, it is a no orientation, fantastic map.
Nice.
I love it.
That's awesome.
So it is down the that is what you say northeast. Oh, okay, so it is this way, and he gestures towards where it would be on his map.
So as you all are continuing this conversation at the campfire, Jubei, having a moment to yourself in this quiet, observant, peaceful place.
A moment away from mist.
Pardon?
A moment away from mist.
Yeah.
Why would you need one of those?
I'm wonderful. Thinking back to the last time you heard of or saw a Drakekin, and the memory of the Drusillin Ra coming to your family's estate, and the dishonor and duel and shame that came from that, the wedge driven floats through your mind. The Drusillin Ra and his Jun rode atop Drakekin.
But it is a bad thought, and Jubei forces it from his mind.
That's how you process
real
trauma.
Deep. Just push it down a little further.
Down into the no place. Awesome.
He is out here now where he should be.
Is there anything else the group would like to accomplish?
Not letting this talk and avoidance on magic go away. Like, Selu is insistent on like, no. Listen, odd things happen. Kai has mentioned weird things happening. I occasionally have weird things happen. You did magic. You purposefully did a thing that is not normal. I need you to explain this to me.
Well, you say these things, but, seeing all of you is not normal. Fighting dragon things in the woods is not normal. With a man with a beard of fire is not normal. And mead that is pitch black is not normal. I think it'd be fair to say that magic is...
About an hour's passed, and my meditation's over, I'll go to rejoin them at the fire, and if Saloon is still saying that about magic, Jubei will walk up, turn around, and find a log far away from the fire, and sit down and start taking out the kit to clean his sword.
Okay.
Perhaps I will tell you later. Magic is it's a sore subject for some of us, me included.
Well, fair.
I think magic is wonderful. Tell me something about you, and I will show you what I can do.
What do you mean? Tell me. What do you mean?
You said strange things happen, and I saw your fighting rods flash with runes. I want to know about it.
Wait. What?
When you hit the thing in the woods, the
I
sticks
just-
you hit it with flashed.
I did. I saw it.
They pull like the rods out and look at them and like.
And on close inspection, they're not like written out spell runes. It is beautiful scroll work.
And in fact, the symbol on Selu's forehead is worked in at various points, kind of like a central focal point within the designs. The same symbol would have been carved into the wood on the slats of the book.
This is not magic. I think it comes from the wind. They are sworn to the wind, right?
Well, I am anyway. That's the name that I took.
What
Seleucian
does it mean sworn to the
Nathul.
wind?
So amongst the Terrandine, when we come to adulthood, we swear to a caste. We choose a place in society, and we perform our duties to society within that choice, and we take an oath to remain within that caste for our life. I did not wish to become an AFRE, a keeper, as my father was before me, and I chose my own name and left. I took the name of the wind. I am a Thule.
Well, that seems fitting since Kai said that names have power.
It's
But-
true.
I don't. Oddities occur if these are magic, like holding up the sticks and like tapping them against a rock. Like it's not anything that I'm doing. I'm not choosing to do anything. If it's happening, it's just happening.
So
But
Can
but
Reese
you.
will
Go ahead.
Reese will hold his hand out, and of course it's like raggedy old, scarred hand. It's calloused, and it's like crappy little like gloves with fingerless. And little fireflies emerge from his hand, and he starts to like juggle them like someone would like balls. And they start to like spin. Well, you see, when I first discovered this, it wasn't something that I thought about it or planned to do. It kind of just came and happened, and I don't really have a lot of control over it. And then like he'll like shape it into like a shape of like one of the little dragon things, and it's like a little like illusion of that. And then it'll shift into like a little tiny Jubei, and he'll bow. And
I don't know how he feels about being mocked with magic, but
Ooh.
he's far away; he can't see. Little tiny. And then I'll just like snuff it out. Sometimes I believe that magic isn't quite figuring things out as much as learning about yourself. Like our friend Mist here and his claims about the moon helping him, I believe it.
Well, yes, but the moon and stars, they hold great power. That makes sense to me.
And as you say that, you look up, and the rocky outcropping blocks out most of the sky and the woods beyond. There's a patch where, as the sun has set and the blue black of night falls in. Looking up, Kai, you see the eternal in its place in the stars, and the bright blue light of Nihus as it rises, nearing its full moon.
So I gesture to the stars that are visible. Say, they hold great power. That's why the Rodent people believe our ancestors live on in the stars. And you can see me. I keep touching my chest, and I'm tracing the tattoos, and you're able to at that point figure out these are constellations that I'm displaying on my chest.
How did we hit these themes so well?
I don't know, y'all, but I'm here for it.
Man, it's freaking ridiculous how
Bizarre.
little all of us talked before all of this
Bizarre.
came together, and it's wild.
All I can tell you, Selu, is that I wasn't quite sure what I was capable of until I really needed it most. And then I'll gesture to the fireflies, and they'll move over to you and alight onto you, and it'll heal the rest of the damage that you took. But they kind of just like gently land, and like you faintly would feel it, and then they would just kind of melt into your clothing, and you would feel the warmth, and then your scars would kind of fade away.
It is strange. What we speak of, Selu spoke of strange occurrences happening, and I've had a handful of occurrences of my own. I wonder if this is all.
I don't.
Does this mean you came to see the sage at the Scheme and Lights? That is why you are going?
I was told of a man who can make strange things happen.
Reese like slides back.
I was told that he would be able to explain to me why things seem to be happening to me and not the rest of the people. But when I say the people, you guys understand that to mean like my people.
Yeah.
And I hold out my arms. I say, I am called the Beshma for my people. I am a guardian, but also I do not exist. I am not acknowledged. Everyone I know, my family, my friends, will not speak to me. They think this is a blessing, but I suspect I was made Beshma because of the things that have happened to me. These strange occurrences we speak of.
And the three of you watch the horse very silently, very slowly and determinedly come up behind Kai and just nudge him.
What? What do you want?
It is strange for a horse to willingly approach where I am also standing. This must be a very good horse for you.
The best. She is my best friend. My only friend, you may say.
She is quite the horse.
I look over at Mystic, like about to say something.
Yeah, I had a friend once, and I hope to have friends again. And
I'd count you as a friend.
it seems I am on my way.
You're very strange. I do not know if we are friends yet.
So, since you do not have good information about your sticks, what is this about the shimmer of your big axe? Maybe you have a better story.
Ah, you see this?
Yes.
I thought I was crazy. I think I see things in my mind that my ancestors empower my blade. I do not know what is happening.
You get angry and your axe shimmers.
I get angry and strange things happen.
Ooh. I do enjoy strange things. Can you tell me one?
I encountered a predator on the plains, and instead of attacking it, ran from me like I was the threat. I see flickers of people in my ethereal creatures, perhaps my ancestors, in the corner of my eye, and I turn and they are not there. My axe shimmers. I feel stronger when I fight, faster than I have ever felt before. Things like this.
You see and you hear the whispers, or you see and you feel the whispers. I hear them from my father, and you see me point up to Nias.
You really keep calling him your father.
The moon is your father.
Why not? We look the same.
A very powerful father indeed. I don't seem like I'm mocking you whatsoever. Like I'm taking you at your word.
Yes, he allows me many things to do, and if you all have shared your stories, if you would like me to share mine, I am happy to perform for you a story that I have heard for many years.
Please. I would
Absolutely.
like that.
And I go into any of you all who are familiar with the geology of Iona and being nestled in mountains. I go into a story of a Ionan princess being separated from her lover on the other side of the mountains and going back and forth. And as I tell this story, every once in a while the flames, you see me like snap at the flames and they change colors to reflect the mood of the story. Or my eyes will change to reflect like tunneling through the mountains and then going dark instead of the natural gold. My voice booms or echoes to represent different parts of narrative going on in the story, until the lovers are eventually united, and I've gone through all of the kind of feats of the thaumaturgy spell, even though I don't know what it
Heck yeah.
is that.
As you have like gone through this, Selu is just like enwrapped in this story and the effects
Same.
of what is happening. And like as the story finishes and people stop paying attention to Mist, buds of flowers and vines and whatnot have like grown more lush under Selu's feet and around, and just like sudden blooming of flowers.
Sean, do you have the performance skill?
I do. Yep.
Will you roll it for me, just out of
Sure.
curiosity?
A total of 12.
Okay. Cool. So the rodent people, I'll react to this in character. You're good. Not the best I have heard, but I grew up with many great storytellers. The history of my people is told via stories. I think you have your father's voice.
I would love to hear these stories. I am more adept at the tricks than the story itself. And like a card will like flash from one hand to another kind of thing, or like sleight of hand.
I am no storyteller, but perhaps with a few more of these, and I hold up the cup we were drinking.
Now, Jubei did not think this lets you off the hook. I want to know about that sword, too. And then without waiting for a response, I'll just walk off and sit and pull out a journal.
Let's shake my head.
Cool.
And Mist will begin talking to himself and journaling about his day and then filling in his map to the best of his ability.
I'm going to get some sleep. I'd rather not tell my story tonight.
Very well.
I
will
think,
stay awake.
I was about to say, I think I'm pretty wide awake at the moment. I don't need a whole lot of sleep anyway. I can sleep now if you want to take first watch.
I will do this.
I will be awake for a while as well.
I'll take the second half of the night then.
Odd.
Take it with you.
Jubei, do you stay up or do you head to bed?
I will excuse myself to bed if the watches are covered, and I will state to wake me when I am needed for a watch.
So, Derek and Sean, or Kai and Mist, would one of you with advantage, or the both of you, roll perception checks for your watch, please?
If you're up for rolling it,
Yeah,
I
that's
am more preoccupied with my writing and talking to Dad.
Yeah, I got it.
Dear Dad.
Dear Dad.
Today I met some
Today
great
was-
new friends.
Today was a great day. I made new friends.
With advantage, I got a 19 total.
Okay. The evening passes relatively uneventfully. Your excitement of conversation kind of keeping your adrenaline up, but nothing of interest happens. Who do you wake up?
Selu.
Selu would wake up after 4 hours, regardless of whether or not you wake them. Was anyone else wanting to take watch, or is it just me?
Reese mentioned it, but he's asleep.
I
He
think
seems to need more sleep than you. Perhaps I will stay up with you until it is time to wake him up as well.
Don't you need sleep?
Yes.
Why don't you get some sleep?
Okay.
I'm pretty good at this point, I think.
Okay.
Selu, do you wake anybody else, or is it just you?
I think it's just me.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for your watch.
There's a good roll. 22.
In the moonlight around you, the shades of gray and silver that you see in at night, there's a bit of movement. Soft, gentle, not stalking or hunting, just a creature moving through. And in the low light of the distance, the moon peeking through, you see a creature in the woods, white furred, almost silver in the light of the stars, lupine and woven with large bone antlers growing from its head, and you'd swear just little flecks of red off the antlers. And as it pads through the forest, it looks up, eyes gleaming in the reflection of the moonlight. Then it turns and continues on its way.
I stay at the camp, not willing to leave my watch, but pull my journal back out and, as best I can, try and put down a quick sketch of something of what I saw in a section for unknown.
WTF, mate.
Yeah, like
WTF.
All right.
Unsolved mysteries.
Theme music plays.
And the rest of the evening goes uneventfully.
as they're keeping watch and like this occurs, having seen something new and standing in the moonlight, as waiting for everyone else to wake up, I would like to leverage one of the things of Druidcraft, as Selu kind of sniffs of like the air and determine what the weather should be for the next 24 hours.
Absolutely. The scent of the campfire hits you as this comforting, like restful sensation. And thinking back on the cloud cover that had rolled through a few days before, rolled past the clear skies throughout your day, and looking up to more clear skies and a gentle breeze. I feel like it'll be a pretty relaxing day tomorrow.
The scent of another fresh day on the wind.
And as the blues begin to roll into the skyline and gentle purples of the dawn, a figure emerges from the wagon, a rested and refreshed Telfin. Big sigh.
Good morning.
Good morning indeed. That's where we'll pick up next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice to
Oh.
meet all of you.
Yeah.
Man!
So good. Session
Well,
one.
My jaw hurts from grinning.
Mhm.
So good. So good.
Indeed.
Ah.
So for anybody watching us, thank you so much for sticking with us as we start this new campaign and new story. And anybody catching this later on, this recording will be up on Twitch for a little while and then migrating over to YouTube. We do like to end our games with something we refer to as accolades. Everybody goes around and just mentions one thing that they saw someone else do throughout the night. And at the end of the night, or at the end of those, I will mention something for everybody as well, and then give out inspiration for the evening. So, just going alphabetically by player. Bill, do you want to get us started for accolades?
Yeah, it was nothing really to point out initially, but I loved all of Derek's interactions with his new character. Like, I'm really enjoying that character, especially the little exchange between him and Dubé at the graveside. It's interesting, shows promise of what can come.
Very much so.
Thanks, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Derek.
Yeah, so mine goes to Mistlethar and Sean for a couple reasons. First of all, every time Mist spoke, I smiled. Just an absolute pleasure listening to you and watching you. Like, you were, not only were you like speaking the words, but you were like you were acting it out on the screen as well, which was awesome. So I love that, and you were also intentionally, you kept probing us with questions and trying to get us to speak more about our characters, and you kind of like forced us to role play, which was great for a session 0 or for a session 1. I think we all needed that, and I think we role played through some really cool things just because of questions that you asked. So excellent job, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Jacob.
Bill, I know you're having some mic troubles tonight, and only a few moments where like RP hit like quite as much as some of the rest of us wound up talking. But dude, the campfire scene, I've been waiting to hear your like what you did with Jubei and the chef feat around all of this for so long, and it did not disappoint. The thought and everything that you put into everything that you did across all of that, I freaking loved it. It's such a cool addition to the party campfire portion of things that it's very cool.
Agreed.
Concur. Patrick.
I was gonna give mine to Jacob. Selu seems like the most like Swiss Army knife of all of us so far. Like, let me do a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this, and like the almost involuntary leader. It's like the perfect like, but not like forceful presence. And it's so cool to see these characters for the first time and see how everything kind of just perfectly clicks together. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm having an absolute blast, even just so far with Selu. I mean,
Awesome.
so good.
Sean.
I am a sucker for one-liners, and Reese stole it for me this evening. With it was one of those times where I couldn't tell if it was in character or some combination of both player and character. But the "How dare you talk to my horse that I talk to?"
Yes, yes.
And just that like level of ownership from someone who has this like almost urchin-esque feel
Yes.
of things. Like, no. I don't have ownership over much, but that horse is my
That's
talking
one.
horse.
But that's my thing.
So I love that. That had me rolling for a little bit.
Awesome.
But yeah, everybody was fantastic.
And for myself, I'm going to go through one thing real quick for everybody and share the love. Bill Jubei, once again, that level of solemn presence that he brings while not being overbearing and somber. He just brings a sense of joy and presence and in the moment that a lot of characters have to force, and Jubei, and through your descriptions just does it so naturally, and it's so wonderful to be a part of. And your immediate quip with the memory that came up was like, nope. Pressing the nope button on that was one of my
Push
favorite
that down.
moments there. Derek, your non-charisma character interactions just were so beautiful. Like, you have leaned into that kind of concept and theme of not playing that this time around, and it is like you are handling it so very well, and the way you interact with the horse and Selu, and that very solemn honorific, I would like to know your name and I would like to give you mine. Like, I got chills, man. It was just so well done. Selu, Jacob, you leaning into the failure was my favorite Selu moment. That, like, nope, I didn't find the thing, but by God, look at this dirt. Like, just leaning into it and running with it. You're always great at just grabbing whatever I give you and just taking off with it, and it's wonderful to watch. Patrick, Reese, finding common ground with people almost immediately, like, was so wonderful, but you still found a way to kind of keep yourself apart a little bit, even when you were literally in the middle of the circle. Like, I'll tell you my story later. That's not, I'm hiding behind the mask kind of thing, was so wonderful. And additionally, how you, as a character, look out for all the other characters. Like, no, we're not going to talk about that because out of respect for our friend, like, that's a touchy subject, that kind of thing. Just gorgeous this evening. And Mist, it's already been said, but the way you forced the gelling, the way you forced the party to narratively come together, even in a session one, so good, so good. And actually, that particular detail is going to get the GM inspiration for the week. So
Nice.
GM inspiration for you. I do not believe you have one.
I had one carried over from the session 0.
Okay, so if you would like to award it to someone else, please feel free to pass it along.
Okay. Can I think on it?
No.
Dang it! Okay.
We need to know now.
Okay.
1 in 4 choice.
You're right. Let's see. I would say Silu from that, just because of our momentary combat enmeshment and then the enmeshment of the fire. There's been a significant amount of bonding for just one session through that, and I would appreciate those continued interactions.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
There you go. So thank you guys very much. I hope it has been worth the hype and worth the wait. I'm so excited to continue this story and
Tomorrow,
see where.
Right?
Yeah,
It's just
like,
we'll be back
right?
here tomorrow.
Every time
We'll wake up.
and just blow off everything.
Yes.
And
I mean, you said we're picking up the next day, so
fair. That's
said that.
fair. I did say that. So the next game for this campaign will be Tuesday, February 16th. Upcoming in between now and then, Saturday, February 6th, will be Breakfast and Dragons, led by the illustrious Bill, who is not right here on your screen, is over there. But nope, other way, that way.
there we go.
Are we doing the fusion dance?
Yeah. Let's see if we get away going. Led by Bill, absolutely fabulous DM, and honored to be able to play in it. A couple of us are playing in that game as well.
With a world with 20 years worth of player-driven history.
Yes, indeed.
That's baller.
That's cool.
Bill's
very
world
cool.
he's been working on for many, many, many years, and it's so cool to see where it is now. And additionally, February 9th will be the very first episode of our talk show, Shooting the Crit. So that'll be very exciting. Bill, you want to say anything about that?
It's a simple little show. We'll try to have different guests on there from time to time, depending upon the subject matter. This one coming up Tuesday will be a week from today. We're going to try to have it in our off weeks. We'll be featuring Gabriel, myself, and Jacob. And Jacob, do you remember what the subject matter was?
I believe we were going to hit the general topic of what gaming during a pandemic has been like, because that's not a broad topic. But yeah, no, like what it has meant to us. I mean, I know for us, it's been literally the forming of Forever DMs. So there's a lot around that for us to talk on. So that I believe that's what we decided on for our first topic. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, easy. We can just have the scene from Rick and Morty where they're screaming and crying in the spaceship for an hour. Yeah, an hour loop. Done. Like, there you go. Gaming during a pandemic.
Thank you guys so much for being patient with building towards this game and then getting to play this game. And anybody watching this, thank you so much for sticking with us.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. See you next
Mm-mm.
time.
Jacob.
I hit the button.